what he was hiding, anything in his pants, the man pulled out a turtle wrapped in a towel. The man told officials that it was a red-eared slider measuring in about 5 inches in length. TSA confiscated the turtle and the man missed his flight and was escorted out of the airport. Your WIBX news time is 6:33. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
More dry weather expected, and once again, temperatures are going to rebound after a day today with a cloudy sky and mid-40-degree temperatures to a day tomorrow with some sunshine. We start to get back to the mid-upper 50s, about 57, 58 degrees. Overnight lows will be in the 30s. Saturday, a chance of afternoon rain showers all the way to the low 60s, maybe well into the 60s on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Ray Stitchick from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
It's 31 degrees in downtown Marcy under cloudy skies. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Let me go to right now. Ryan Schmelz with Fox News Radio is on the line with us. Ryan, good morning and welcome to Thursday. Yeah. I can see you're pouring that cup of coffee right now. You're getting what you need to get you up and rolling. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. It looks like this game of, is this a game of checkers or is it a game of chess? Schumer is saying that the Republicans don't have the vote, and they're introducing a 30-day stopgap measure, probably something that's not going to fly. Where do you see everything right now?
I mean, he's right in the fact that Republicans don't have the votes if Democrats all stay united behind not voting for the bill. But, you know, what's going to happen if their 30-day plan fails and then, you know, the option is on the table? Okay, you let the government shut down by tomorrow, or do you just go ahead and vote for it and let the government be funded through the end of September? I mean, that's kind of the question that's being put before Democrats right now. And you know, the closer we get to a shutdown, the more they're going to have to answer that question.
Yeah. This is going to be I felt like Democrats were in a position where they really have no choice. Are they ready to put federal workers, and I think Republicans will be blamed as well, and everybody will be blamed. Are they willing to put federal workers through more? You saw people on the news last night at the education department crying because they've lost a job they've had for 20 years.
Yeah, no, Democrats are in a tough situation here. I mean, you know, the House was able to pass their bill. Some people didn't think that was ever going to happen, but you know, Mike Johnson and Donald Trump were able to get it done. So now, I mean, this is pretty much the only plan.
Yeah.
That's essentially before them. You know, Democrats can say that they have this other idea, this 30-day CR, but you know, there are Republicans out there who would support it, but they're probably not going to vote for it because you know, we're too late in the game for them to be saying that. So I think a lot of them are saying, well, look, the House is gone. House ain't going to come back to vote for something if we pass our plan. So we either pass this now and we go on spring break, or the government's shutting down.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see how this thing proceeds. All right. It's one of those where, you know, both have a gun and they're both pointing it at each other, one of those old Westerns with a duel.
Or rabbit season, duck season.
Yeah, who's going to pull the trigger? And, interesting. All right, Ryan, you have a wonderful day. Thanks.
You too, my friend. Thank you.
Ryan Schmelz with Fox News Radio. Quick break, and we'll come back. A bunch more. I just want to let you know, if you're watching on YouTube, we have a little. I'm assuming it was either done remotely or automatically. I have a feeling it was done remotely. When they restart our YouTube computer, it blows up all the settings. So it takes me forever to try to get everything back up and running, but at least we're on.
And that's why you have a Mac and not a Windows.
We'll have a camera shot coming up in a little bit. Hold tight. It's a Thursday morning. Remember, tomorrow, this time, we'll be at Tony's in Washington Mills for the free breakfast broadcast. Come on by. And even if you get just a little bit of breakfast or just come in to say hi to Andrew. I've heard from several people that are going to be making it over there tomorrow, including Father Sean O'Brien.
All right.
We'll be in the 8 o'clock hour tomorrow. All right, stand by. We'll come right back at WIBX.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually, in fact, true. How would you like up to $4,000 of free windows? And when I say $4,000 of free windows, I mean $4,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $4,000 to get $4,000 free. You just get up to $4,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of these restrictions are income-based, and you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
Hey guys, it's Lisa here from Fit Body Bootcamp. It's March Meltdown. What does that mean? We want to help you melt that stubborn body fat. Join us today for only $57. But hurry, that won't last long. Stop the madness and start your meltdown today with 2 convenient locations in Whitesboro and Clinton. What are you waiting for? The time is now to start living your best life. If you call us today or find us on Facebook, your first 3 sessions are free on me.
Mattress Express's closeout sale on brand new leftover inventory and floor models. Right now, buy a king or queen and get a free adjustable base. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans available as well.
Okay, we need brakes and tires. Check the battery too, please, and how about an oil change?
There's one local shop that really knows how important it is to keep our youngest passengers safe. Mulgerry's Auto Repair, family owned and operated since 1928. That's 3 generations of family that's been looking out for your family. Trusted for nearly 100 years to keep your car on the road, plus towing, brakes and tires, and good, low mileage used cars. Mulgerry's Auto Repair, 501 Albany Street, Utica. Call 315-733-5033.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
It's Amerique Credit Union's 75th anniversary, and our new checking account rate is worth celebrating. For a limited time, open an Amerique High Rate checking and earn an unprecedented rate on your first $10,000. Get started at amerique.org/high rate.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
And listen, I was thinking about this morning as I was preparing myself to do 3 hours when I'm not feeling like doing one. We were at the Radiothon last Friday, and there was somebody that was there that was hacking up a lung, and sat down and said, "I'm sorry, I'm fighting a cold." Well, I don't know if it's a cold. I don't know if it's COVID or the flu or a cold or one of those other 90 million things in between that seem to get on you and linger forever. I wanted to say, you don't have to be here. What in the hell are you doing here? And, why are you sitting across from me? Oh, my. And sure enough, I just kind of felt it coming on. And hopefully it's one of those short-lived deals. But I see more people that are getting like what is not the flu, it's not COVID, it's some sort of a cold, but it lingers on.
Oh, yeah.
And the last thing, I got a lot of stuff going on right now. Mm-hmm. First of all, next week is my big, my major update from Roswell and Buffalo. So I can't miss that. And then we'll be hopping on a plane for Andrew's wedding. You don't want to miss these things when people.
Hopefully, you get a first class seat and no one sits next to you.
I ran into somebody the other day they were getting married in a month, and they were wearing a mask. So I found that to be a little abnormal in this day and age, right? Wearing a mask. And they said, I know it looks odd that I'm wearing a mask, but I'm getting married and I'm doing everything I can to not get sick during and have it screw up the wedding. So I get it. I understand. Mm-hmm. And then I'm thinking, well, I'm complaining about him having a cold, and here I am at work. We're at the point now where you can't call into work and say, I think I might have something. I'm not coming in. You really can't do that today. But a volunteer situation on a radiothon, if you're freaking sick, stay the hell home. I'm sorry. You can donate from home. And my belief is the person didn't even donate.
My favorite is when somebody
we don't need your time. We don't need your commentary. Feel free to call in. You can call in. Hacking up along. It's a wonder Andrew's not sick, too, because he was sitting across.
Yeah, but I could tell you I had a memory when I was just walking around the crowds, and it was just introducing myself. A person covers their cough with their hands, like, and then reaches out to shake mine. And, you're in a situation where you're just like, do I be nice or do I be firm? And so if you cough into your hand, don't shake other people's hands, please.
I envy people who are firm. People who, like, for instance, you know who is firm?
Who?
He's sitting in the booth. Davey, like he said, I'm sitting at the game. All of a sudden, somebody starts talking to me, and I'm like, excuse me. Will you I can't say the way you would say it, Davey. What do you say?
Excuse me, will you stop talking? I'm trying to enjoy the game.
Yeah, I love that. I should have more of that in me.
So, Davey, what would you say if somebody coughed into their hand and reached out to shake yours, and you watched it happen? How would you handle it?
Dude, that's disgusting.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
All right.
So I'm in the same boat you are. I was supposed to go to a birthday party for a family member.
And your own birthday is Monday.
Yeah, on Saturday. But unfortunately, the person's house that we're going to, one of the family members is sick, so they moved the party until next week.
Well, that works out perfectly. And, right, somebody's sick. I mean, everybody seems to be sick right now. I'm just trying to get through this and not catch whatever it is. And I don't care what it doesn't. I'm not expecting this to be COVID or the flu or anything like that. I don't have any of those symptoms. I just, especially, and it doesn't even matter that this is what we talk for a living. Anybody, do you want a cold? Do you want to suffer through 2 weeks of miserable cold symptoms?
Yeah.
Nonetheless. I'll stop on this. I mentioned to you this documentary. This thing is crazy. So we have a documentary on Apple TV Plus. So that is, you do not need the Apple TV device. There is most likely an app you can download if you have Apple TV Plus. It's a subscription, like all the other stuff. You'll be able to see it. This is a documentary on Jim Morrison, who, according to the documentary, didn't die after all. In fact, he faked his death. He wanted to leave celebrity. Now, I got to tell you, with all the drugs he was taking, I feel the overdose, probably with heroin, is probably a pretty logical and likely outcome of how he died.
Yeah, there was no Narcan back then.
They say, in this documentary, they have proof. And they come to Syracuse and interview this guy who they say is living under the name Frank. They interview him and say that he is actually Jim Morrison.
Okay.
Keeping his eye on the road and his hands upon the wheel. Jim Morrison. Going to the Roadhouse in Syracuse. Nonetheless, I think I will dabble in this and watch this just because it's crazy. A guy living incognito in Syracuse who's really Jim Morrison. I think I'll check it out. That's available right now if you wanted to watch it. The FBI is reporting to keep an eye out for smishing. This is something we've talked about before. They're saying it's a new wave of smishing. I got to tell you, I get the you owe a toll from the thruway. I get those almost every other day now.
Yeah, I got a recent one that was it definitely was fake. I hope I kept it. Yes, final reminder, toll road payment. This is your last notice. Please pay your outstanding toll balance by March 10th to prevent any further measures. Pay now to avoid extra fees or enforcement measures. This is a scam.
Yeah, don't click on it.
Don't click on it.
Don't click on it.
It's meant to scare you, but whenever first of all, tolls by mail, nor do Easy Pass text you, because there's no way for them to link your license plate with your cell phone number, because anybody can be driving your car, number one. And number two, they never say you need to pay now. They have that sense of urgency to scare you into paying because you fear the consequences.
Well, I got to tell you, Spectrum does those pieces of garbage. I'll complain about that too. My email was all screwed up. I couldn't figure out what was going on with my email. Couldn't send emails out. And then I realized, did I pay the cable bill? And it was not, the deadline before they shut you off was coming up like early next week. But they slow you down. If you're behind on your bill, they will slow it down to the point where
they throttle you?
They do, where you might not. I don't know that they say they do, but I can tell you, I watched our speed levels go way down. The minute you pay the bill, within about 2 seconds, your speed level goes right back up. And that's what that's the only thing I did yesterday, and it fixed my email.
That
anyway,
seems a little weird.
The FBI is warning, the New York State Thruway Authority warned about text messages, the one that Megan just talked about. They are out there. Forbes is now reporting smishing. It's a combination of SMS, your text messaging, and phishing, and it uses text messages to trick people into giving out sensitive personal information. It may be about an Amazon package. It may be about a bill it says you just paid. They love to do, thank you for your payment of $345. You can now utilize the service. And you're like, what are they talking about? And you click on it, and the bad stuff begins to happen. Just don't click. That should be the, buckle up or die, whatever they say on the
scrutinize everything. Trust and verify.
Don't click on these things. And I can only tell you because we've all done it. We've all made that mistake, especially when they catch you at a moment where, and this is just a shot in the dark, they catch you at a moment where, number one, you're probably in the middle of something, stressed about something, but they hit something that I was just on the thruway. I have Easy Pass. What's going on here?
I think what they probably do is they realize that a lot of people use the thruway.
That's exactly
send out
right.
a mass.
It's all by chance, and it's done but for your individual situation, you might have just been on the thruway and you think, oh, this must be real.
Yeah, sounds plausible.
Yeah, and it's not. So don't click on the stuff. Don't click on the stuff. Here's Tanya J. Powers, Fox News Radio. Place you can rely on to tell you all about this and teach you about phishing is the United States Department of Education. Oh, wait a minute. They just cut it in half. Tanya, good morning. Some of the video on the news, and I get it. Probably they're picking the right people, but to send the message that they want to send. But, the one guy last night is crying. He'd been working at the Department of Education for 20 years and got an email and was done just like that. Crazy. Tanya, good morning.
Yeah. There's been probably, I think, about half of the staff that has been cut at the Department of Education since Trump took office. Yesterday, just for an example of how this is apparently having an effect so far, is the FAFSA site. This is the time of the year when, students are filling out FAFSAs, get ready for college education, applications and, higher learning, stuff like that. You got to fill that out if you want to apply for, student aid. It's a must. The FAFSA site was down for several hours yesterday. Pretty hard hit. Speaking of hard hit, the developers and the IT support staff who worked on the FAFSA form were some of those who were pretty, their numbers were kind of decimated during the layoffs on Tuesday, along with the staff buyouts that we've already seen from the Department of Education. So this is one of one of the real world kind of effects that some of this is, has been kind of warned about by people who were concerned about this happening. That is one of the things that we saw yesterday, just yesterday. I mean, as of Tuesday, the department started cutting about 1,300 people. That includes nearly half the staff in its Office for Civil Rights, more than 100 for the Institution of Education Sciences, if you're hearing those and you're like, I don't know what that means, what do these departments do? I don't know if I talked to you guys on the air about it recently, but I remember just a few weeks ago, I was doing the topic of the nation's report card, the national report card, where it's the test. It's the only national test that compares student performance across 50 states. It's also mandated by Congress, so it's kind of a big deal. That's the one where the 4th and 8th graders take the test, and we see what it looks like with math and reading and all that. Okay.
Yeah, we were just talking about results from the geometry portion of that this morning, as a matter of fact. And I think that might have come out of the Bush administration, and that No Child Left Behind.
That national report card is administered by the National Assessment of Educational Progress. That falls under the Institute of Education Sciences, where we lost 100 people, more than 100 people, just to kind of give you an idea of what some of these departments do, because they sound, kind of like this big ambiguous, wonder what that does. They actually have, real things that they do. That means there are going to be fewer staff members to process the pending federal investigations into allegations of civil rights violations. There are about 12,000 pending right now. About half of those violations complaints involve disability issues. That falls under this as well. Apparently that Office for Civil Rights used to have about 600 attorneys handling complaints. They had a caseload of about 50 or more. That's where that office has lost about half of its staff in the cuts this week.
Well, and if you've ever gone through the process of trying to get on the FAFSA website, I know they have a new version of it they just put out, which is it's already incredibly difficult to go through. And then when you need help, good luck, because those people aren't going to be there anymore. So it really does affect I think when people think the Department of Education, they think these are the people that are causing my kids to have to learn something that is ridiculous and stupid. Back in my day, we used to learn properly, or whatever the argument is. But it's so much more than that, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see the fallout here, to see what the result. And I find it hard to believe the result is going to be that everything just goes hunky-dory as normal. I'm not sure it's going to work that way.
Well, just to be clear, the Department of Education does not control what gets taught in schools.
Correct.
We keep hearing that they're going to send it back to the states.
It's already there.
Do that.
Yes.
Yeah, the states and the local, districts are the ones who decide, the curriculum. That's basically done on the local level. So this is not the Department of Education, some entity in Washington that's directing all these schools to do things that you don't like. If you don't like something, that's done with your state and local officials.
Yeah.
So the DOE handles all kinds of other things, and that information is readily available online. If you ever are curious as to what all falls under their purview, it's easy to look up and see, okay, exactly what do these people do.
If you'll recall, Tanya, maybe 10, 12 years ago, the big argument in New York was Common Core, teacher evaluations. All that stuff came from Cuomo and New York State. That was a battle. That's where you saw a lot of parents say, I'm not allowing my kids to participate in testing. So, again, all coming from the state level. It'll be very interesting to see where all of this goes, Tanya. As always, we appreciate your insight. And have is it going to warm up in New York today? We're getting warmer weather, right? It's going to be almost 70 this weekend here.
I think today we're supposed to be up to maybe around 50. It's been really nice the last few days, so I'm hoping for a little bit more than 50 degrees.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you enjoy that. Thank you so much.
Thanks. You too.
All right, Tanya. Jay Powers from Fox News Radio. Richard, I understand they're saying upper 60s for Sunday, which is why I kind of said almost 70. Today 53, another nice day. Tomorrow we're up into the 60s, the most likely low to mid 60s, but a really nice day. And then this parade, when it steps off, it's going to be fairly mild for the parade this weekend. There's also a story up on our website you can check out regarding the Rome Humane Society and the dead puppy. Somebody dropped off a puppy overnight, not last night, but the night before. And yesterday morning, they found in the puppy corral. They found the puppy was dead, and they're trying to find out who done it. You can check out that story up on our website at WIBX950.com. And we mentioned Billy Joel, that concert coming in April in Syracuse. Well, it'll be April of next year. He will not be on tour until July, I believe it is.
2026.
He apparently fell on stage. He lost his balance and fell on stage. Something going on where it required surgery, and he's going to take the next 3 months to rehabilitate. Is the story. So your tickets, if you have them for that Syracuse show, are still good for that show, but it'll be next year. Got a break. We have news coming up top of the hour at WIBX.
Ferris commercial mowers set the bar with racing-inspired patented full suspension and integrated cutting decks so you can go faster, cut better, and not get beat up. Ferris Experience Suspension. Take advantage of the best financing and prices of the year. Visit us at whitesfarmsupply.com.
We're the power and power equipment. White's Farm Supply.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
A potential government shutdown looms this weekend. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. After Senate Democrats told Republicans they will not support the House-passed spending bill ahead of Friday's deadline, GOP Senator Ashley Moody tells Fox,
we're going to do everything we can to keep this government open. We're going to be the adults. We're going to let them throw their tantrum.
The House-passed CR aims to cut non-defense spending by roughly $13 billion, which Republicans say is essential. Democrats fear it will allow the Trump administration to dismantle more government, cut taxes for billionaires, and funnel corrupt contracts to SpaceX without protecting Social Security and Medicaid.
That's Fox's Kristen Goodwin. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Canada for a two-day meeting of G7 allies where tariffs will be a big issue after Canada and the European Union announced retaliatory tariffs to the U.S.'s levies on steel and aluminum imports. Helping Ukraine in the war against Russia, also a topic at that meeting as we await Russia's response to Ukraine agreeing to a 30-day ceasefire. President Trump again suggests sanctions on Russia.
I want to see peace, and we'll see. But in a financial sense, yeah, we could do things very bad for Russia. It would be devastating for Russia, but I don't want to do that because I want to see peace. And we're getting close to maybe getting something done.
Today, the president will meet at the White House with the leader of NATO, which has been helping the U.S. arm Ukraine in that war. An anti-Trump protest in New York City. Demanding who they call a political prisoner be freed. That's outside the court where a federal judge ordered Mahmoud Khalil to remain in custody in Louisiana while still considering the U.S. attempt to deport Khalil, a legal resident with a green card, accusing him of supporting Hamas in anti-Israel protests at Columbia University last year. Disappointment for SpaceX.
Unfortunately, we are scrubbing for today's launch.
A hydraulic issue delayed a mission to the International Space Station to bring two stranded astronauts home. Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams have been there since June after the Boeing spacecraft that took them there had technical problems. America's listening to Fox News.
When you hear the term living better, what do you think about? More money? A bigger house? Maybe a yacht? What about how you feel physically? How you wake up each day? How you sleep? What activities you can and cannot do? When you feel good, life is good. So if pain is affecting your life, see how Relief Factor can help. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, it doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or even eliminate pain. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. So give their 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day. And it just takes a phone call, 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're hurting, in 3 weeks or even days, Relief Factor can give you a chance to rediscover the true meaning of living better again. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
More of what President Biden did is being undone in the second Trump administration. A lot more.
Calling it the most consequential day of deregulation in American history, Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Lee Zeldin announced more than 24 agency actions to roll back regulations and climate change policies.
Today, the Green New Scam ends as the EPA does its part to usher in the golden age of American success.
Zeldin says the EPA will begin unwinding vehicle emission standards and rules for coal-fired power plants designed to drastically cap carbon emissions. Republicans oppose many of those rules, arguing they increase energy prices and the cost of owning a business. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Pope Francis is continuing to improve in the 88-year-old's month-long battle with pneumonia, but he is still in a Rome hospital on what a public holiday at the Vatican is going on, marking 12 years today since Francis ascended to become Pope. A church leader's in trouble in Texas.
Gateway Church founder Robert Morris is accused of repeatedly sexually assaulting a 12-year-old Oklahoma girl back in the 1980s. On Wednesday, a grand jury indicted him on 5 counts of lewd or indecent acts with a child. Cindy Clemenshire says the church tried to cover it up for decades. She said she brought up her allegations multiple times to the church's Board of Elders. When the claims became public, the elders said they weren't aware that the young lady in question may have been just 12 years old. Morris had denied the claims but resigned from the church back in June when Clemenshire's allegations became headlines. Jill Nato, Fox News.
On Wall Street this morning, stock futures are mixed, not moving much after the Dow dropped again in a big March plunge, losing another 82 points, but the Nasdaq gained 212. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. It's 29 degrees under mostly clear skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. A Utica man was arrested on drug dealing charges. According to Utica police, officers were called to conduct a search warrant at the Red Roof Inn following a complaint of drugs being sold. Police searched the target of their investigation, 40-year-old Eric Augusto, and discovered a felony amount of contraband on him. Among the items included methamphetamine, heroin, fentanyl, assorted pills, cash, and packaging materials. Augusto faces multiple charges, including 5 counts of third-degree criminal possession of a controlled substance, which is a Class B felony, as well as numerous other drug charges. Skywatchers are in for a treat tonight. A blood moon will phase into a total lunar eclipse over New York. The lunar event will start this evening and continue through the early hours of March 14th. Tomorrow, the eclipse reaches totality around 2:26 a.m. until 3:30 a.m. Astronomers say the amount of dust and cloud cover will determine how red the eclipse will appear. While the total lunar eclipse won't require any special equipment to watch it, a telescope or binoculars will give you a better view. Staying away from city lights will also improve your viewing conditions, and Hamilton College is having a viewing party. You could read more about that on WIBX950.com. It should be a wonderful time and a unique experience. Health officials say 12 people may have been exposed to measles as a Long Island child continues to recover from the virus. Suffolk County officials announced Tuesday that a child less than 5 years old tested positive for the highly contagious disease, marking the 3rd confirmed case in New York this year and the 1st outside of New York City. The county health department says 12 people may have been exposed last week when they went to the pediatric ER at Cohen Children's Medical Center in Queens, where the child was being treated. 1 was unvaccinated. The hospital is contacting those individuals. And the U.S. is cracking down on long-term visits from Canadians. Visitors that are planning to stay longer than 30 days are now required to register with the government. A new mandate uploaded to the Federal Register says that anyone over the age of 14 will also need to apply for fingerprinting with authorities. This tightens an existing law that Canadians used to be exempt from. It comes as the U.S., Canada, and Mexico are locked in a trade war over President Trump's new tariffs. Your WIBX news time is 7:07. Here is your weather forecast.
More dry weather expected, and once again, temperatures are going to rebound after a day today with a cloudy sky and mid-40-degree temperatures to a day tomorrow with some sunshine. We start to get back to the mid-upper 50s, about 57, 58 degrees. Overnight lows will be in the 30s. Saturday, a chance of afternoon rain showers all the way to the low 60s, maybe well into the 60s on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Ray Stitchick from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
It's 29 degrees under mostly clear skies. In sports, a future Hall of Famer is experiencing something for the first time in his NFL career. Aaron Rodgers is now a free agent and is free to sign with any team. The Jets will carry a cap charge of $23.5 million until June 1st, but will receive $9.5 million in cap relief after that date. The New York Giants and Steelers appear to be showing the most interest, as well as the Vikings in Rodgers. The Mets continued the spring with a 2-0 win over the St. Louis Cardinals in Jupiter. Paul Blackburn was credited with the victory after striking out 2 batters over 4 scoreless frames. New York is 8-9 and continues Grapefruit League action against the Boston Red Sox this afternoon. The Yankees continue to get ready for their regular season and continue Grapefruit League play when they visit the Detroit Tigers. New York is 8-8. The Knicks have won back-to-back games after holding off the Portland Trail Blazers 113 in overtime. Mikal Bridges led all scores with 33 points, including the game-winning three-pointer at the buzzer. New York is third in the Eastern Conference at 42-23 and will wrap up its road trip Saturday night when it visits the Golden State Warriors at Chase Center. The Rangers are shoring up their situation in net. The Blue Shirts have signed backup goaltender Jonathan Quitt to a 1-year extension. The deal is worth $1.55 million and includes performance bonuses. This 3-time Stanley Cup champion is also the only U.S.-born goaltender to achieve 400 career wins. New York is tied for third in the Eastern Conference wildcard, and unfortunately, the Syracuse men's basketball team had its season come to an end with a blowout loss in the ACC tournament. J.J. Starling again led Syracuse with 16 points, but the Orange were still beaten by SMU Mustangs 73-53. J.R. Davis added 14 points for SU, who was held to its lowest point total of the entire season. Syracuse finishes the year with an overall record of 14 wins and 19 losses. That's sports. I'm Megan Stone for WIBX.
I look at it, Davey, that the misery is over. This is the worst, I think, since like the late 60s, the worst record Syracuse has had, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? Now, there is a really amazing NCAA basketball tournament going on, Division III at Herkimer College. And both Herkimer and MVCC is a number 2 seed in that tournament. I believe Herkimer is a number 5 seed.
They played yesterday.
Both of them advanced, and that continues today over in Herkimer. We'll keep an eye on that. Tomorrow, of course, Hamilton College's men's hockey team travels to Maine, and the Utica Pioneers men's hockey team will play at 1 p.m. There's still tickets available. That's a 1 p.m. game tomorrow. St. Patrick's Day Parade is tomorrow as well. Saturday. Saturday. I'm thinking today's Friday. Sorry.
I wish it was Friday.
Yeah. There's a wish. You know what I mean. It's all Saturday. The Pioneers play Saturday, and so does Hamilton. That's that.
And the Comets played last night. Unfortunately, they came up on the short end of their Syracuse, and they have 2 big crucial games this Friday and Saturday at the Odd against Laval.
Which by the way, they're doing a flash sale right now where you can buy like 3 tickets.
Yeah, starts today at 3:30 and goes until 6:15.
Yeah, it's like $15 tickets, right? Yeah. And something to think about, these 2 games are crucial because they still mathematically can get into the playoffs with a little help from their non-friends and some winning. So that loss was one they didn't need yesterday.
And, of course, it's going to be a fun weekend at the Odd. You got Comets Friday, Saturday. You got Utica City FC on Sunday, and you got Utica University at 1 o'clock on Saturday.
A lot of stuff going on, along with the parade, not tomorrow, Saturday. All right, hold tight. We'll come right back. We'll speak with Sheriff Rob Mashel. They have just entered into an agreement where you may see an Oneida County Sheriff's car patrolling in your neighborhood that you didn't expect to see. You're about to see it, and we'll explain when we come back here at WIBX.
This is Anthony Constantino, CEO of Sticker Mule. I'm a proud Trump supporter, running for Congress for the seat being vacated by Elise Stefanik. I built a successful internet company with nearly 1,000 people in upstate New York. However, much of upstate New York suffers from lack of access to high-speed internet that's necessary to build great companies and enable high-paying remote jobs. In fact, much of our district lacks access to strong, dependable cell phone service too. Of course, we must have both for public safety and to grow the economy. When elected to Congress, I will work quickly with President Trump to fix this problem. With high-speed internet, dependable cell service, and by renewing President Trump's tax cuts, both for businesses and individuals, we will create jobs and return economic prosperity to upstate New York. Follow me, Anthony Constantino, on Facebook today to learn more about my plans to make New York great again. I'm Anthony Constantino, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Constantino for Congress.
Hey guys, it's Lisa here from Fit Body Bootcamp. It's March Meltdown. What does that mean? We want to help you melt that stubborn body fat. Join us today for only $57. But hurry, that won't last long. Stop the madness and start your meltdown today with 2 convenient locations in Whitesboro and Clinton. What are you waiting for? The time is now to start living your best life. If you call us today or find us on Facebook, your first 3 sessions are free on me.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually, in fact, true. How would you like up to $4,000 of free windows? And when I say $4,000 of free windows, I mean $4,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $4,000 to get $4,000 free. You just get up to $4,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of these restrictions are income-based, and you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
Mattress Express's closeout sale on brand new leftover inventory and floor models. Right now, buy a king or queen and get a free adjustable base. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans available as well.
Hey, this is Bill Keeler from WIBX. Join us this Friday morning from 6 till 9 a.m. at Tony's in Washington Mills for our free breakfast live broadcast. It's our official farewell to Andrew Dominio, who's heading off to a world of real estate. Tony's in Washington Mills has put together a free breakfast for everybody who shows, and we'll be doing the show live from there right up until 9 at Tony's, home of the Italian buffet, every weekday for lunch and dinner. It's delicious. The free live breakfast show this Friday, 6 till 9, Tony's in Washington Mills with Keeler in the morning on WIBX, celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler in the morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Hey, I want to tell you about Ricky Z and everybody over there at Steve Honey Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, they're offering award-winning Mazdas at a tremendous value. Think about this, the 160-point inspection, a balance of the 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. And as Rick says, come in, let's make your deal on a new or pre-owned Mazda, where it's always easy to do business. Steve Honey Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. And they really do have some great pre-owned vehicles. I had a CX-9, took it over there, it was gone in 2 days. I don't know if that's true. But I imagine it would be. It was in beautiful shape, I imagine. Okay, there's a comment on, and I want to get to this first before we talk to Sheriff Mashel, because I would be interested in the sheriff's opinion. Some guy in the 315 on YouTube says, when will they change dog laws to be more like babies, where you can give your dogs up when you can't take care of them anymore? And at first you hear that question and it seems kind of odd. But I do think that one of the problems is when you turn an animal in, they charge you. And sometimes it can be over $300-$400 to turn an animal in.
Exactly.
If you can't handle that dog and you're willing to give the dog up, we got to figure out a way to solve that problem, because if there's somebody that feels they can't afford the $300 or the $400 or whatever it is, this leads to crazy people just dropping a dog off at a farm, or in this case, abandoning the dog at the Humane Society, thinking that would be okay, but the dog dies.
Yeah, and also you have people who go on Craigslist, give away the dog for free, and then nefarious people grab it for certain
there's
reasons.
all
It's
sorts
terrible.
of things. So I agree with that guy in the 315. Sheriff Mitchell, your thoughts on that topic?
As an animal guy, I love animals, as you know. There is a process, though. I know, in some cases, if you can't afford it, there are multiple non-for-profits that will assist in finding a good home. You may have to keep it for a bit, and they'll provide you with food and whatnot for the animal. I mean, there's no excuse for someone to go to the Humane Society and to just drop in this case, a puppy over the fence. Like I said, there's a process. There are many people who, just will do anything for an animal, as we know. But it's just, and I don't know the circumstances. When we will hopefully figure this out. As you know, we do have a case on it, and obviously, more than likely will lead to criminal charges. But I don't know. Is this a mental health case? Is
Right. You don't know.
Case? I mean, there's a lot of different factors. We just don't know the answers to this point. But if there are people out there that have an animal, they can't take care of it, please don't abandon it. Please don't do what this person did. Please reach out to us and or anybody for that matter. Like I said, we work with multiple rescues and non-for-profits every single day. And there's a way we can help you out.
I got to tell you, Sheriff, I guarantee you, if we got a phone call this morning and it was somebody that said, listen, whatever their reason is, I can't take care of this dog, and it's a nice dog. I can't afford to take it to the Humane Society or wherever because they're charging. I just want to give it to someone, to a good home. I almost bet there'd be 10 people on the line ready to take the animal.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And then there are people who are in a position with a little more room that can assist with larger animals. That's kind of how we ended up with 7 horses here on the farm. My wife is a horse lover, and she's rescued 4 of our horses are rescues. When we say rescue, they're retired from the racetrack, and before they did a great career on the racetrack. So, we have 2 from Vernon, 1 from the Meadowlands. We have 1 that traveled all across the country. But unfortunately, when they retire, they end up in an auction.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, they end up in a bad place, and that's how we end up with so many horses here. Yeah.
Well, we had a greyhound, and when you said rescue, I was picturing your wife actually going to the ranch and stealing the horse out of there. And
I'll help her. And if she wants someone to go riding with her, I'll go.
And I got to tell you, because with greyhounds, that's what they do. They go to there's a track below Providence in Rhode Island, and people who feel it's inhumane to race these dogs will go in and steal the dogs. So
So what happens a lot of times with racehorses, because because of their breed and their stamina and what'll happen a lot is they'll end up, and not that it's a bad thing when they're taken care of, but they'll end up on the back of an Amish buggy for the rest of their life. Going on 30-mile trips every day. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because there are a lot of Amish people who take very, very good care of their horses. Those horses are like their cars. But there are some who don't. And that's, like I said, that's why I have so many horses here that I'm actually looking at them right now. They're outside standing in the snow wanting to know when it's going to go away.
When is the snow going to go away? Wayne, stand by. I'll get you on with the sheriff. But first, though, this story involving Clinton. You may be seeing patrol cars, Oneida County Sheriff patrol cars in Clinton. What's going on?
Yes. So a couple of years ago, the mayor of Clinton, she reached out to me Because let me back up a little bit. 1994, the village of Clinton had a police department, their own, for many, many years. In 1994, it was abolished, or it closed its doors, the village police department, and they contracted with the town of Kirkland Police to dedicate a car to be in the village limits in Clinton. That agreement has been in place since, like I said, I believe 1994, somewhere around there. And at the time, Kirkland Police Department was had more employees. Over time, like everyone else, I'm assuming they're struggling with staffing. But past couple of years, the mayor has saw a decrease, according to her, saw a decrease in the presence of the Kirkland Police. In turn, they're paying for a service. Their residents are, want to see more police. Businesses want to see more police. So she reached out initially 2 years ago. At the time, I was not in a position with our staffing because we had a bunch of different things going on. We had several recruits in the police academy. I wasn't in a position to assist. She reached out several months ago for a second time. We sat, and her frustrations, and again, I'm not saying anything negative because I work very well with the Kirkland Police. Sean Acapinti, their chief, is a great kid. I know him well. But apparently they're just not in a position to have a car dedicated to Clinton as much as they used to. So the mayor requested us to be able to do, or for us to do that. I do have the staffing to be able to handle that. We've been doing things not only in that community, but every other community in the county anyways. And, we're able to give them a little bit of an enhanced presence. And as of yesterday, a couple of weeks ago, I believe the village board, they first unanimously signed the agreement. And then yesterday, the Board of Legislators, it goes through a committee process.
Yeah.
First, it passed Public Safety Committee last week. Yesterday in the morning, it passed Ways and Means. And then yesterday in the afternoon, it passed the United County Board of Legislators unanimously. And we will, starting next week, we'll have a car dedicated, not 24/7, but a car dedicated up to 96 hours a week. I'm not going to say exactly when we're going to be there for public safety reasons, but we're going to have a much greater presence there. And it's a one-year contract. We're going to try it out, see how it goes, and evaluate it and see how both parties feel, 9 months from now to see if we renew and continue, or, who knows? I don't know. Does Kirkland bounce back with staffing and then they take over? There's a lot of scenarios. This is just another opportunity for us to help a community in need, and obviously they're going to be paying us $170,000 a year to offset our cost of giving them an enhanced presence there in their community.
So if you see a Sheriff's Patrol car in Clinton, you'll know exactly why. All right,
And,
Sheriff.
Sounds good.
Let me bring in Wayne with a quick question for you. Wayne, you're on with Sheriff Rob Mitchell.
First of all, they ought to have, for the Greyhounds, they ought to have a senior tour like they do in golf.
Right, they should have.
When they're done,
Right.
bring them into a senior, a senior racing tour.
I'm telling you, these Greyhounds are not, when they come from a racetrack, they are not, I don't want to say not domesticated, they are not house-ticated.
They're high-strung.
Oh, yes. And listen, I came home once, we had the dog in an area that was like a crate, and it got out of that area and was stuck on our dining room table. Somehow, that dog climbed up on top of it but couldn't get down. And it's odd because
so confused.
Greyhounds they won't climb stairs. So it's really quite interesting. Anyway, Wayne, your question for the sheriff.
I hope you got a photo.
My question was, okay, say if somebody couldn't have the dog, right? They literally go right up to the door of the Humane Society and they say, there's no way possible I could keep this dog. I'm moving. I can't have the dog because if they don't allow it in the new apartment I'm going in, I can't take it. Now, they can refuse it, or what do you do if I just leave it right there? What happens from that point?
Well, depending on what Humane Society, because we have two in our community here, there are many across the state.
Stephen Swan, we're talking.
Right, but again, what I was going to say, Wayne, is I don't know their specific policy because I know that there are differences, whether we're talking the Rome one, Anita's, Susquehanna. I mean, there are, and some are.
But my point is, do you have, as a person or a citizen, have the right to go up? They don't want anybody just leaving the dog there because of the cold or whatever, leaving it unattended. Do you have the option to go there and just say, I can't? There's no way I can keep it. I don't want to just leave it here.
If they say no, you can't. That's.
Right, they're a private. I mean, they're not a public entity. They're a non-for-profit, basically governed by a body, a board of directors. So yeah. I'm sure they have a policy, and sure they can refuse. And if you put it there and walk away, you're probably under Ag and Markets going to face some kind of abandonment charge. But I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to research that for you specifically, Wayne.
Wayne, call.
Thank you for your time.
I would hope.
All right, Wayne.
All right.
Wayne, all you got to do is call the radio station. I'm telling you, we'll get rid of that dog.
Oh yeah, I know. I don't have that problem, but I know a person that did it. Okay, thank you guys.
All right, Wayne. Thank you, Sheriff. As always, you're always here to whatever the question is. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Sounds good. Have a great day, guys.
All right, you do the same, Sheriff Rob Mashel. But it is. I mean, I think people feel cornered, right? You feel like you're in a corner, and you can't afford it. I don't know what the deal is, but here's another thing you could do. I think it would be a really smart thing to do if you're in that position is to dial 211, that new service that's available. There's someone there 24/7, and it's their job is to try to solve a solution, find someone who can help you fix whatever problem you have. My guess is they would prevent you from having to do a lot of running around, and you may get some help there. 211 is the number, and they service that line 24/7. Let me tell you, if you're having neck pain or back pain, knees, wrists, arthritis, shoulders, mine is lower back, Revive Softwave Therapy. It's an FDA-cleared, non-invasive, and drug-free treatment for chronic pain, inflammation, and joint issues. It really simulates an injury, really. So your body, your brain thinks there's something going on. There's an injury. Let's rush blood and stem cells to that area. And that is your body treating parts of your body. It's really quite incredible. It is huge in Europe. This machine was made in Germany and is now FDA cleared. There's a new $99 new patient special. So big that Dr. Del Medico, by the way, who was and is a chiropractor, has just focused completely on Revive Softwave Therapy. It is, I was there and had the treatment the other day, and normally you're probably looking at 6, 7, 8 treatments to be able to see a lasting difference. But after the first one, I totally felt a difference. It's a $99 new patient special. Call them today. Phone number to call is 315-725-8427. Go to revivesoftwave.com for more information. Megan has news coming up. We'll do Habaika's free money question of the day. And then the county of Oneida suing the governor in New York State with a question mark. We'll speak with the county executive coming up.
The cold and windy weather isn't going away anytime soon. Don't get caught with an old, inefficient furnace. Today's the day to call Tri-County Heating and Air Conditioning at 315-829-4100. Need service for that furnace that's not working? Call Tri-County Heating and Air Conditioning at 315-829-4100 or check out their website, tri-countyheating.com. That's tri-countyheating.com. Stay warm and safe this season with Tri-County Heating and Air Conditioning.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and servicing Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
When you choose Bassett Healthcare Network for your surgical needs, you'll get amazing care from a devoted team of surgical specialists. Bassett surgeons offer many advanced services, including minimally invasive and robotic procedures. Surgeons are accepting new patients at convenient locations in Cooperstown, Oneonta, Delhi, Little Falls, and Herkimer. Choose a remarkable Bassett surgeon and discover a team you can trust. Visit bassett.org/remarkable surgeons to learn more.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. News time is 7:32. I'm Megan Stone. It's 29 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Your Weather Center forecast is coming up next. Court proceedings are likely to move quickly in the case of a pro-Palestinian activist facing possible deportation after being arrested by ICE agents last weekend in New York City. The White House says Mahmoud Khalil's pro-Palestinian activism was anti-Semitic and pro-Hamas. Khalil, a green card holder married to an American citizen, is currently in federal custody in Louisiana. Government attorneys want his case argued there or in New Jersey. Khalil's attorneys are fighting that attempt. The judge in that case has said he plans to decide on the matter sooner rather than later. More protests were held outside in the courtroom yesterday for Khalil, with demonstrators demanding his release. New York City Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch is pushing for a crackdown on quality of life crimes. At a city council hearing this week, Tisch testified that the NYPD will soon unveil a quality of life division, which will address things like panhandling, public urination, and open-air drug use that Tisch says is out of control. She says there will be a new system to track how quality of life complaints are handled, to measure complaints, and how officers accountable for responding to them. Bronx District Attorney Darcel Clark pushed back, testifying that now is not the time to retreat to broken windows, but rather look ahead at 21st century solutions. The measles outbreak in Texas has passed the 200 mark. More than 24 new cases have been identified since Friday. The Texas Department of Health and Human Services says that 29 patients are now hospitalized. In a statement, they said measles is highly infectious and they predict the number will keep going up. There have been reported cases in at least a dozen states, including New York. And the U.S. Department of Agriculture is cutting more than $1 billion in funding for local food banks and schools. The agency is ending 2 programs that help state, tribal, and territorial government food purchasing. This comes as the Trump administration works to cut the size of the federal government. That includes cutting some programs that Trump's critics are saying are actually mandated by law. Your WIBX news time is 7:34. Here is your forecast.
More dry weather expected, and once again, temperatures are going to rebound after a day today with a cloudy sky and mid-40-degree temperatures to a day tomorrow with some sunshine. We start to get back to the mid-upper 50s, about 57, 58 degrees. Overnight lows will be in the 30s. Saturday, a chance of afternoon rain showers all the way to the low 60s, maybe well into the 60s on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Ray Stitchick from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
It's 29 degrees and mostly cloudy skies. Your WIBX news time is 7:34.
All right, Davey, we're doing Hobica's free money question of the day, and it is worth $200 this morning. And then we'll talk to the county executive. What are you looking at? Caller number
4.
Fourth caller right now, 315-736-0186. Fourth caller, 315-736-0186 at WIBX. We'll do it next.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team now. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get pay that's based on your experience. Great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, tomorrow morning, we'll be live at Tony's in Washington Mills from 6 a.m. until 9. Broadcasting live as part of our Free Breakfast Friday. This could become a tradition. Anybody that comes in, you get a free breakfast. And Deeds in New Hartford said, boy, that's going to be a big bill for the eggs. I bought eggs the other day. I could not believe. Although I did find a dozen for $4.99. The brown, it's a local farm out of
tell me off air. Let's not reveal the secret
here. That's a good
point.
The brown cage-free eggs were $4.99. Not bad. And there were some really big ones in there. All right, who do we have here, Davey? Who's our contestant? You're yelling at somebody in there. It's
Steve.
Steve. You were yelling at Steve?
Well, I kind of trouble hearing him.
Oh, okay. I did hear that. Hi, Steve. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
I can hear you.
You know what Steve this is, don't you?
Are you Steve Colenso?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to put you back to Davey when we're done. And because you've been
try it again, huh?
No, I'm going to mail it to you. I have the card and I'm going to mail it to you. I'm
not worried about it.
Yeah. I hate to see you not get your prize. Well, we're going to have to mail you two either way today. So maybe there'll be some cash in there too. Are you ready, Steve?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Here is your question. You have 7 seconds to answer. Wayne Donaldson is responsible for the quality of this brand with a first name that's well known in my house. Ready, go.
Oh, boy.
Throw out a name. Stoves. Are you a wine drinker?
Yes, sir.
All right. So there's a wine brand called Josh. Just so happens to be
my wife's favorite wine.
It's exactly it. And that Wayne Donaldson is the guy that now runs everything, and my son's name just so happens to be on a bottle of wine. Pretty wild.
There you go.
All right, we have 2 food and fun cards for you for a total of $50 at Aquavino or Babes, Taylor and the Cook, 72 Tavern and Grill, The Odd or Nexus, and Davey's going to get your address. He's going to hand me the 2 cards. I'm going to put them in the mail myself, okay?
Well, being on a fixed income, that'll be a good treat for us.
All right, you got $50 coming. All right, stand by. Don't go anywhere. And Davey, you get his address. Thank you, Steve. There we go. Davey, before you do that, can you get Tony on? Is he calling us or are we calling him? Okay. I got some other stuff to get to. Go ahead. You do what you got to do. County executive coming up in a second. Tony Pacini. And this is just a crazy story when you think about it. That the governor signs an executive order. I almost feel like she's like, well, if Trump can do it, I can do it. I don't know. You're going to be challenged in court, just like some of the other executive orders. The fact is, how can you, if somebody wanted to walk away from a job, how can you say, well, you're going to walk away from this job, you can never, ever work for the state again? That's what's being said. It has to do with the strike, the COs that were on strike. And the issue at hand is about 50 of them came to Herkimer County. I think another 20 of them went to, 50 of them came to Oneida County. I think about 20 of them went to Herkimer County, willing to work in those jails. And it's pretty it's pretty simple. They want to hire them. They've interviewed them, and the governor's saying you can't hire them. So I think you're going to see at least pressure and then possibly a lawsuit that'll be coming up. We'll speak with the county executive on that coming up in just a little bit here. I got a bunch of other things here this morning. As long as we're talking about dogs being returned, this 82-year-old woman in California just got her cat back 2 months after it went missing during the wildfires.
Oh, the cat came back the very next day.
2 months.
No.
Yeah.
That's the song.
Not the
that
name.
I was,
Oh, I didn't know the song.
thought she
Sorry.
was a goner, but the cat lives in my
Yeah.
head rent free.
One of my favorites. Catherine Kiefer, here she is talking about the cat named Aggie that returned to her. She is just happy as can be.
I feel really, really lucky. I actually didn't think I'd ever see her again. There's just such a connection. It's sort of like you have with your children. She's just a spirit, and she's her own soul. I just didn't think I'd ever really get past losing her. I felt so worried that she would think that we had abandoned her. Don't give up hope. Don't underestimate cats.
Don't underestimate cats.
Oh, no. Don't underestimate them.
Yeah, that is, I guess that's true. By the way, she lost her house.
Yeah.
So they lost their home, and the cat came back. So pretty big deal there.
That's the nice
and then
thing.
there is another story I want to get into, maybe if we have time next hour. A woman claiming that she's getting a bathroom divorce. You know what a bathroom divorce is?
No idea.
She's saying a bathroom divorce with her husband, from her husband, it's saving their marriage. The couple basically has 2 bathrooms.
Okay.
One is hers, one is his. Here she is explaining how, now this might be a solution for many people out there. Here's how she explains it. If it plays.
I think a bathroom divorce is best exemplified by 2 toilets, 2 sinks, and 2 ways to shower or bathe in the morning. We have everything separate. The pet peeve of my old bathroom was the wet, sticky floor every time I went to use the toilet. So knowing that I use a bathroom with a dry, pristine floor.
You know, one of the members who uses the bathroom has a prostate and the other doesn't.
Okay, by the way, that sounded just like Tony Pacini, didn't it? I thought it was Tony that was talking like in
Tony,
my
did you get a
ears.
bathroom divorce?
Wow. Could that solve the marital problems of America in 2025? I do believe it could, and it was a little gross when she talked about the sticky, wet floor. To me, that's a little gross. But
I think she's tired of cleaning it, too.
County Executive, good morning.
Good morning.
I thought that was
Good morning.
you. I thought the guy that came in was you. It sounded just like you.
It was not. It was not.
It was
an
not
imposter.
I'll stay out of that one.
Yes. I'm feeling that you keep a very clean bathroom. My guess would be.
I do.
All right. As do I, but my wife would disagree probably. Okay. This is just crazy. This executive order. And I mean, sometimes I feel like we go after things. It's Republicans going after Democrats. It's Democrats going after Republicans. This is just, I think I described it as bat blank crazy. Telling these people they can no longer ever take a job with New York State. I don't get it.
Well, neither do I, and that's why we did, and over the last few days looking at this and just recognizing, again, the overreach by this governor, which continues on almost every issue. It's so ridiculous, and it's so, I mean, overreach is like a calm word of it in the context of, just really wanting to run every level of government. It's bizarre, and I can use the words unconstitutional and all that, and people understand it. But I think, when you look at this from the standpoint that this governor, just thinks, and this legislature at times, the majority thinks that their way is the way, and they're going to tell every level how to run it, and at the same time criticizing the president for doing things that are and it's the hypocritical nature of it in terms of her telling federal workers come to work for us, but then telling state workers you can't go to work for anybody else. So it's really caught on, and I was amazed at the number of shares and the pieces we got out of our post yesterday and everything we've been doing. It's really resonated.
I mean, you mentioned the Constitution, and I am no attorney, but I would ask, doesn't this violate a person's right to due process? So they're basically because they were a part of 2,000 who didn't come back, they have already been judged. It's over. And you've been deemed someone who has been I don't know what, irresponsible, you broke the law, but she doesn't know that's the case. How did they know that?
Well, did you break the law? I mean, the question there is you broke a contract, and certainly, those of us that negotiate, we understand that concept here. But that is not a misdemeanor. It is not a felony. It is not anything that falls in the face of the kind of crimes that people in law enforcement or others get suspended for or get banned. More importantly, get banned from public employment. I mean, that's the other thing. It's not just about banning them. The one thing is banning them from being a correction officer somewhere else or a police officer or a peace officer. You're banning them from any local government employment, or at all. And based on what? Again, let us make that. I mean, that's our decision.
Yeah. Well,
that's my argument.
I spoke with one person who said, I just had enough. I can't go out I can't afford to go out on strike. It's dangerous. We're being required to work 24 hours. I can't do this to my family anymore. I'm leaving. This is the moment for me. I'm leaving. What did that person do?
Well, and that person, I mean, we've heard stories about that person. We talked about many of those.
Yeah.
I mean, and we talked about this yesterday, in which they have gone in to resign and have been told no.
Right.
The resignation's been thrown back at them, and then they get fired 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing? This governor really has a mess on her hands. I mean, instead of, and I've heard, both sides a little bit, more the one side about, if this happened to me, I would have done the same thing. No, definitely not. I mean, obviously, you don't want this kind of situation that you're dealing with. Change the policies that are causing this at the prisons. You have that ability as governor. Instead of firing and banning, all of these people from further employment. I mean, this is, and the violation we mentioned the Constitution, the violation of home rule, of the ability to govern, the charter. I mean, we saw this last year when they did this on the elections to say when we were going to hold our local elections.
Right.
And we won that case in court, and it sits there now.
Are you? I know that. I know you've gone to the legislature. You have permission to move forward on this. Everybody agrees. Are you? Is this a threat, and hopes that she'll move, and then you sue, or are you just going forward with the lawsuit?
Well, I think we're, obviously I wanted to get the board behind this today or yesterday, and I wanted to make sure that we have, obviously whenever you take these kind of actions, you want to make sure everything's in order. And I did want to make sure I had the support of the county legislature, which I did unanimously. And, this is something we've been talking, obviously with the County Sheriff's Association of the state, but more, also the New York State Association of Counties. I think unless this order gets altered or changed or revoked or whatever in the next few days, we will go forward.
Yeah.
And we will. I mean, that's our intent. Our intent is not just. It's not to do with. Let me put it this way. I'm not playing the game the governor has. Well, keep it up and I'll come up there. I'm not doing that. I mean, we have to. We have. Right now, and this, the sheriff will tell you, and I could tell you, there's over 50 plus correction officers that are seeking employment with the county. We have 30, I think, in process that we're reviewing their files and backgrounds, et cetera. And not to mention those that don't want to go back into corrections but want to work in other areas. And that goes, for the cities, the towns, the villages, all levels of different government. And to just say that these men and women can only serve as correction officers, nobody knows that. They have other, they have qualifications, they have educational, standards and that have been met. So there's a variety of things they can do, but then to say they can't. So this really does, so what happens if tomorrow I hire Bill Keeler, who was a correction officer? What's the state going to tell me?
Right.
So that's why we do need to protect ourselves, and we will go forward, in the court, say you just violated the bigger pieces. You just violated, you violated home rule. I mean, I cited. I mean, there's so many areas of county law, of municipal law, of the sheriff's ability. Remember, the sheriff's a constitutional officer. You can't tell him how to run his facility.
Well, I don't think she can say they can't be corrections officers. I don't think she can even say that.
No, I don't think she can, based on the fact that that they look, and we can argue the part of the strike and all that, but the conditions that they were under that we talked about yesterday, we don't do that with our correction officers. We don't require them on days off. I've heard a story of a CO, and I'm sure there's more than one, that was on vacation, approved vacation, came back and was fired. It's ridiculous. It's just complete. It's incompetence by the administration.
Well, it's making a situation worse that is already bad. You're just making it worse. And I do think that if the governor were to say, state facilities, if you've left one of these prisons and you left because you were striking and you didn't come back, we will not hire you back. The state correctional facility, state-run facility will not hire you back. That's one thing. She's going to the point where she's saying you can't work anywhere in the state for anybody in this capacity.
And the question then becomes, too, Bill, the other piece of this is the law enforcement registry, because the registry was created, which is a good thing, to make sure that those police or police officers that have certain issues of discipline, that they don't jump from one department to the other if there are problems in that. So now, but the question that usually falls in the line of disciplinary, of abuse, of other misuse of power, but usually comes along with a potential crime of a misdemeanor, a felony, etc.
Yeah.
This doesn't. I mean, you've got 2,000, and the point is, if you get removed from the registry, you have the ability for a hearing. You're going to do 2,000 hearings in the next month of all of these officers to determine whether or not what they did warrants them to be prohibited from being a police officer, or anything in that regard. So, this is just, I mean, the extent to which she has attempted to rectify this situation, as you say, has put it very clearly, has made it much more worse for her. I mean, look, she can worry about our lawsuit. I think she's got suits.
Individuals, 2,000 lawsuits,
if not more.
Yeah.
I mean, so we'll go forward. We're going to look at everything we have, because this clearly, I mean, that's up to us to determine through law, through civil service, through hiring. We do background checks. We want to see, give us she's saying that you don't want to hire these people.
Well, that's up to you to decide.
Yeah.
And share those records with us. Let's see what else there is there.
Yeah. County Executive Anthony Pacini, we appreciate it. And I when I saw the order, I thought it was a joke. I cannot believe it.
It becomes more and more with this administration, this legislature, this state. It's unfortunate the path that we have been taking, especially when it comes to the governor's interference in other levels of government. It's pretty.
I want to say one more thing on a different topic before you go. You got a busy weekend in the area with a lot going on. Of course, down in Herkimer at Herkimer College, NCAA Division III tournament. MV and Herkimer are both in that tournament. MV is the number 2 seed in that national tournament. Then you have the Pioneers playing on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Comets are home Friday, Saturday. Utica City FC on Sunday. And there's a little parade that's going to be going through Utica.
There's a little parade that's going to come through on Saturday in the midst of all that.
In the midst of all of it.
Supposed to be and the weather's supposed to be in the 60s. So
this is.
If you want to talk about spring fever, this
certainly does. This is
it. The weekend to celebrate it.
And by the way, enjoy the summer this weekend. Fall begins next week. That's what it'll feel like.
I'm sure we'll see you at the parade or at least one of these events over the weekend.
We will.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Everybody.
County Executive Anthony Pacini And we'll see where that the threat of the lawsuit and where that lawsuit ends up going. And Sarah's Flooring Outlet has the area's largest flooring inventory. And I got a bunch of comments I'm going to get to. And Sarah's has the largest flooring inventory, more selection you're going to get anywhere else. And they guarantee the lowest price on RevWood by Mohawk. Lowest price guarantee. This is made in the U.S. From Mohawk. Premium hardwood visuals. Maximum scratch protection, fade resistant, just an amazing product that is quality. It has the beauty of wood, but lasts forever without all the maintenance. And best of all, it's made here in the U.S. Visit in Sarah's to discover RevWood, R-E-V wood, RevWood flooring that fits your style. And Sarah's also has Smart Strand carpets by Mohawk that are extraordinarily clean, exceptionally durable, and environmentally friendly. And you always get 6 months interest-free financing on the Mohawk products. You get the lowest price guarantee. Call them today or visit them. Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy. Online, it's in sarahsflooringoutlet.com. I'll get your comments. And if you want a phone call, 315-736-0186. On the other side of the news, which is coming up. I got a lot to get to, but we will. And some pretty good comments. By the way, involving the divorce over the bathroom, Mike says, it's a pet peeve, or should I say a pet pee of mine. A little rim shot there would work. Oh. We have a great forecast, as the county executive said.
That wasn't
tomorrow. We'll be.
Nope.
Don't even try.
I know. I gave up.
Tomorrow we'll be at Tony's in Washington Mills for our free Breakfast Friday. Little send off for Andrew Derminio.
Hey guys, it's Lisa here from Fit Body Bootcamp. It's March Meltdown. What does that mean? We want to help you melt that stubborn body fat. Join us today for only $57. But hurry, that won't last long. Stop the madness and start your meltdown today with 2 convenient locations in Whitesboro and Clinton. What are you waiting for? The time is now to start living your best life. If you call us today or find us on Facebook, your first 3 sessions are free on me.
It's Amerique Credit Union's 75th anniversary, and our new checking account rate is worth celebrating. For a limited time, open an Amerique High Rate checking and earn an unprecedented rate on the first $10,000 in your account. Celebrate with every grocery visit, every swipe, and everyone you know. Discover a rate worth celebrating and open a high rate checking account today at amerique.org/high rate. Insured by NCUA.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs. Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome,
W295EI,
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
A meeting of the U.S. and key allies. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Starting today, north of the border.
War is on everyone's mind as top diplomats from the world's richest democracies gather in Quebec. There are the potential trade wars following President Donald Trump's tariffs on steel and aluminum, not to mention retaliatory measures put in place by Canada and the EU. But the very real war in Ukraine could also reveal divisions among allies. Most are publicly supportive of the Trump administration's efforts to end the fighting.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. Now, President Trump has warned again of possible U.S. sanctions on Russia if it does not agree to a ceasefire offer Ukraine supports. A short time ago, a senior Russian official said that U.S. proposed ceasefire would help Ukraine's military. As Russian soldiers retake control today of more areas in the Kursk region that Ukraine captured in a counter-invasion last summer. NATO's leader, Mark Rutte, will go to the White House for talks today on the war, the day after President Trump said this ahead of a potential government shutdown.
It would be great if the Democrats would do what's right for our country for a change, because they really are there. They've lost their way.
As the Senate's Democratic leader, Chuck Schumer, says ahead of a funding deadline tomorrow night.
Funding the government should be a bipartisan effort. But Republicans chose a partisan path, drafting their continuing resolution without any input.
So Schumer says Democrats will not support that bill, but the GOP can't pass it without some Democrat votes. Here's something else the left doesn't like.
The death of the Green New scam is upon us.
EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin tells Fox they're rolling back environmental regulations from the Biden era aimed at fighting climate change.
It's the most significant, biggest deregulatory action in the history of the country. Trillions of dollars.
Zeldin says they'll undo rules on things like coal-fired plants and unwind standards on vehicle emissions that were aimed at getting us to switch from gas to electric cars. America's listening to Fox News.
When you hear the term living better, what do you think about? More money? A bigger house? Maybe a yacht? What about how you feel physically? How you wake up each day? How you sleep? What activities you can and cannot do? When you feel good, life is good. So if pain is affecting your life, see how Relief Factor can help. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, it doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or even eliminate pain. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. So give their 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day. And it just takes a phone call, 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're hurting, in 3 weeks or even days, Relief Factor can give you a chance to rediscover the true meaning of living better again. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
They call him a political prisoner. Protesters outside a court in New York City where a federal judge ruled that Mahmoud Khalil can remain in custody while still considering the U.S. attempt to deport Khalil, a legal resident with a green card, accusing him of supporting Hamas terrorists and anti-Israel protests at Columbia University last year. Now, that case could be moved to a different venue.
Will it be in Louisiana where Mahmoud Khalil is being held or in the New York area? A federal judge will decide after hearing arguments. Khalil's lawyers say he's being punished because he spoke freely in support of Palestinians. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said it's not about that.
This is about people that don't have a right to be in the United States to begin with. No one has a right to a student visa. No one has a right to a green card.
Which Khalil has. His attorney, Ramzi Qassem, said the government's case will backfire.
It won't fly in federal court. We think it won't fly in immigration court. And it certainly should not fly in the court of public opinion.
Khalil still has not been charged for his actions at Columbia University. In New York, Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Another state's moving away from lethal injections as the preferred method for execution. Some are using nitrogen gas now. Idaho is the first state to make the firing squad its primary method.
The bill was signed less than a week after a 67-year-old man was put to death by firing squad in South Carolina for killing his ex-girlfriend's parents with a baseball bat. The first time the method's been used in the United States in 15 years. Although the death penalty hasn't been carried out in Idaho in over a dozen years, a firing squad could now presumably be used to put accused college students killer Brian Koberger to death if he's convicted. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
SpaceX may try again tomorrow after scrubbing a launch to the International Space Station last night, a mission to get 2 astronauts back from the ISS who've been there stuck since June. On Wall Street, stock futures are now down. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. I'm Megan Stone. It's 30 degrees under partly cloudy skies in downtown Marcy. Your full weather forecast is coming up next. An Oneida man was arrested on child pornography charges. The Oneida City Police announced they arrested 35-year-old Jeremy Neidhart and said he'd been charged with 2 counts of performing a sexual performance by a child, which is a Class D felony, and 2 counts of possessing a sexual performance of a child, which which is a Class E felony. Oneida City Police said the arrest came from an investigation in partnership with New York State Police, Homeland Security in Albany, and the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. Neidhart was taken to Madison County Cap Court to await centralized arraignment. No further information about the incident was provided. A 13-year-old was arrested for assaulting nursing staff at Wynn Hospital. Utica police say officers were called to the hospital on March 5th and met with staffers who said a 13-year-old began assaulting the nurse that had been caring for them as they were being treated at the emergency department. Staff said the juvenile grabbed the nurse's hair, yanked her down, and bit her on the arm hard enough to break the skin. The nurse suffered substantial pain. The juvenile was charged with second-degree assault and was issued an appearance ticket. Border czar Tom Homan is warning Governor Hochul that ICE agents could soon flood New York if she doesn't cooperate with the federal immigration crackdown. Homan was in Albany on Wednesday meeting with GOP lawmakers where he issued the warning to Hochul during a news conference. He said that sanctuary cities will get exactly what they don't want: more agents in the community. Homan criticized Governor Hochul for New York's immigration-friendly policies, but had nothing but praise for New York City Mayor Eric Adams for working with the Trump administration on rounding up illegals who commit crimes. And TikTok is rolling out new features it says will keep younger users safe. The social media platform is facing a potential ban in the U.S. next month over national security concerns. The new features allow parents to limit the amount of time their children spend on the app. Your WIBX news time is 8:07. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
More dry weather expected, and once again, temperatures are going to rebound after a day today with a cloudy sky and mid-40-degree temperatures to a day tomorrow with some sunshine. We start to get back to the mid-upper 50s, about 57, 58 degrees. Overnight lows will be in the 30s. Saturday, a chance of afternoon rain showers all the way to the low 60s, maybe well into the 60s on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Ray Stitchick from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
.30 degrees under partly cloudy skies in Marcy. Here is your sports report. A future Hall of Famer is experiencing something for the first time in his NFL career. Aaron Rodgers is now a free agent and is free to sign with any team. The Jets will carry a cap charge of $23.5 million until June 1st, but will receive $9.5 million in cap relief after that date. The Giants, the Steelers, and the Minnesota Vikings are showing interest in acquiring Rodgers. The Mets continued the spring with a 2-0 win over the St. Louis Cardinals. Paul Blackburn was credited with the victory after striking out two batters over four scoreless frames. TJ Shook secured the save after striking out two over a scoreless inning of relief. New York is 8-9, and they continue Grapefruit League action this afternoon against the Red Sox. Yankees, they continue to get ready for their regular season and continue Grapefruit League play when they visit the Detroit Tigers this afternoon. New York is 8-8. The Knicks won back-to-back games after holding off the Portland Trail Blazers 114-113 in overtime. Mikal Bridges led all scorers with 33 points, including the game-winning three-pointer at the buzzer. New York is third in the Eastern Conference at 42-23 and will wrap up the road trip this Saturday night when it visits the Golden State Warriors. The Rangers are showing up their situation in the net. The Blue Shirts have signed backup goaltender Jonathan Quick to a one-year extension. The deal is worth $1.55 million and includes performance bonuses. The three-time Stanley Cup champion is also the only U.S.-born goaltender to achieve 400 career wins. New York, they're tied for third in the Eastern Conference wildcard. And Syracuse, the Syracuse men's basketball team had its season come to an end with a blowout loss in the ACC tournament. J.J. Starling led Syracuse with 16 points, but the Orange were still beaten by SMU Mustangs 73-53. J.R. Davis added 14 points for SU, who was held to its lowest point total of the entire season. Syracuse finishes their year with an overall record of 14 wins and 19 losses. That's sports. I'm Megan Stone for WIBX.
I got a bunch of comments just to squeeze in here quickly coming in, whether it's through the app, which you can download for free, by the way. Just search for WIBX 950 in Google Play or in the App Store. Or you certainly can watch us on YouTube and leave a comment there as well. Ann in Rome, I agree with the county executive suing Governor Hot Mess. That's what, yeah. Donna, she's saying the solution for those that dump animals and try to catch the dumped animals and take them to a shelter, but get turned away, it's still against the law what they're doing. Then she asks on the county in Pacenti's lawsuit, how can the governor determine who the county employs? And I think that's the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Mike, I think if states are using a firing squad, they could use a robot to do it. It was South Carolina. Which
Yes.
state? I forget which state did it.
It was one of the Carolinas, and it was the first in many years, I think, since the 80s.
Less mental
70s.
less mental distress on those who have to serve on the squad. By the way, when they use a firing squad, they have one of the shooters firing a blank. The shooters don't know who has the blank. And that, by the way, was the choice of the person. He did not want to be electrocuted.
Mm-hmm.
He did not want to be killed by lethal injection. He chose firing squad.
And Idaho is now, it becomes the first state to prefer death by firing squad for executions.
Check out our children's reading and math scores compared to other countries. Not good. So you have to start somewhere to revamp the system. The Department of Education has nothing to do with that. And as I responded to him, our scores get dragged down by states like Mississippi, which put very little into their. If you're a New York State teacher, you could be hired anywhere in the country. There are states that do extremely well, and New York is one of them. But it's the inner city schools, where they struggle to get kids to even participate, get kids to go to school. These kids have a very difficult home life. That in itself is something that needs to be corrected, and how we correct that, I don't know that we have come up with an answer.
And you also have teachers who are, they anonymously complain about No Child Left Behind, where students, no matter some who are extremely emotionally disturbed, and again, nothing against the child, this is just the situation that they're in when they're emotionally disturbed and they have daily, sometimes hourly meltdowns, and the protocol is to round up all the other students and have them exit the class, so that child who is having that emotional problem is talked down or led away into a safe room. So that does disrupt serving. So, and the critics are saying that you're holding the class to, it's kind of heartless to call it the lowest common denominator, but perhaps there should be some new ways to look into when you do have a child who is a consistent disturbance, then there should be something, because it is affecting their other colleagues.
And there is, it is a problem. And
Bill, are you saying you would punch a child?
That is all mandated by the state.
He didn't say yes or no. He just laughed, everybody.
One thing that I'm trying to get to here is the scores are out for geometry, and this area should be pretty proud. Oneida has 2 schools, and Madison has 1. Oriskany Junior High School in Oneida County and Oriskany, Perry Junior High School in New Hartford, and Stockbridge Valley Central School. On the geometry scores, they were 100% proficient, ranked number 1 in New York State for geometry. So nice to see one of our schools or 3 of our schools on the top of the list. Again, I think that a lot of this is. It's easy to, and I understand my wife is a teacher, but it's easy to blame the schools and the teachers and everybody. These kids who, by the way, overperform, you maybe see in other countries, or they come here and they have no television. They do not play video games. They work.
No cell phone.
And that does not come from the school. It comes from their parents and their home life. Exactly. Which plays a huge part in that. But as for your kids being able to read, that is not the Department of Education. Got a break. It's 8:15 at WIBX.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
It's time to throw your overpriced big wireless contract overboard with a qualifying plan. You can choose an iPhone 14 or a Samsung Galaxy for $0. Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will make the switch in as little as 10 minutes. No hassle, no gimmicks, just honest-to-goodness wireless price right. Dial pound 250, you say the keywords Pure Talk, claim your new iPhone or Galaxy with a qualifying purchase from Pure Talk, which is America's wireless company. Visit puretalk.com for details.
Are you concerned about age-related macular degeneration, or AMD? If you're over 50, then you should be. AMD impacts as many as 1 in 10 Americans over 50. Now, protecting your eyes is easier thanks to New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements. New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements not only protect your eyes, but help improve night vision, as well as helping to relieve eye fatigue caused by digital devices. Enjoy healthy vision with New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements. Available now at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com.
It's the Before the Tariffs March Saveness event at Destination Kia of Utica,
where we have no money down leases on over 250 new Kias that were priced before any tariffs hit.
Like a new 2025 Kia K4 LXS for only $328 a month for 36 months.
That's with zero down, zero due at inception, and sales tax included.
And with 40 miles per gallon highway, you'll save on gas too.
But get yours now and save before any tariffs hit.
Now that's kooky. Make that short drive to save.
So go kooky for Kia at Destination Kia of Utica. Puppies and babies not included.
2025 Kia K4 LXS, STK number 25F0253, MSRP $24,320, 36 months, 30,000-mile lease, 20 cents per mile over, $0 due at inception, $0 security deposit, 8.75% sales tax, and $650 acquisition fee included in payment structure, 720 plus FICO score, EPA rating. Offer expires 3/31/2025.
Hey guys, it's Lisa here from Fit Body Bootcamp. It's March Meltdown. What does that mean? We want to help you melt that stubborn body fat. Join us today for only $57. But hurry, that won't last long. Stop the madness and start your meltdown today with 2 convenient locations in Whitesboro and Clinton. What are you waiting for? The time is now to start living your best life. If you call us today or find us on Facebook, your first 3 sessions are free on me.
It's March basketball, and you could win $1 million in the $1 Million Bracket Challenge on WIBX. Brought to you by Tony's Pizza in Washington Mills, home of the Grand Lunch and Dinner Italian Buffet. Weekdays 11 till 8. If your bracket isn't perfect, you can still win $10,000. Just sign up now at WIBX950.com. Select your bracket starting this Sunday, March 16th, and get those predictions in before March 18th. No purchase necessary. Play the $1 Million Bracket Challenge from Tony's in Washington Mills on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Celebrating 100 years.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
I got to tell you, Davey, I already screwed up my bracket. My bracket is already dead. I filled it out a little premature, I think, because there's no way Syracuse is going to win the NCAA tournament.
You got Syracuse and Colgate in?
I got them going. Syracuse playing Colgate for the national championship. Yep, I'm screwed.
Colgate would probably win.
I am screwed. However, a national championship going on at Herkimer College today and through the weekend. Both MV, MVCC, and Herkimer are in the tournament, both winning and moving on to the next round. Herkimer with a, I believe, is a number 5 seed, and MVCC is a number 2 seed in the tournament. Cordelia in Rome on the line right now. Cordelia, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. The reason why I'm calling is about the cell phones in the school system.
Yeah.
I believe that they're doing the right thing by making them take the cell phones out. These kids have to start learning, and once they get this into gear, I think it's going to take about a year or so, their grades are going to change. They're going to come up. They're going to be learning.
Yeah.
And then another thing.
I hope that happens. I hope you're right, Cordelia. I know that there are some districts that are suing the state over this, saying that the decision should come from the school district. They should be able to decide. Maybe there are times when kids can get their phone. I think hers is a bell-to-bell policy. Yep. So from the first bell to the last bell, no phones.
That's how it used to be when I was in high school. Girls got detention and their phones confiscated. It went off.
In my math class, I wired an actual hard line. It was a dial-up phone right into our classroom. We were able to talk, and it was a party line, so you could just pick up and talk to people.
There you go.
Yep, that was in the old days.
Yep, I remember.
Okay, Cordelia, you remember? Did you ever have a party line?
Yes, I did.
Those were fun. Yeah, those were fun.
You have to tell them to get off the phone because you wanted to use it. And, there was nothing like 911 or anything, you know.
Right.
And then you just and you were real ignorant people that, it could wait, and it was kind of...
You could literally pick up the phone and say, "Will you please get off the phone? I have to make an emergency phone call." And then you call your girlfriend. All right. Good stuff, Cordelia. Thank you.
And wait, one more thing.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring the cell phone into the social life because you go out to a restaurant and they're all sitting there on their phones. They waitress to get their order in.
Yeah.
And then after they get their order in, and when they're eating, it's one fast bite of food and more for the cell phone. And
it is a younger thing where they must take a picture of their food before they eat it. It's unbelievable.
Then we went to a funeral home this past weekend, and the young ones were all sitting there in a little
phone.
On their own.
Yeah.
How disgusting.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm okay with that because when I was a kid, I had to go to the funeral and you just have to sit there and look at the dead person. So at least looking at the phone, and then sooner or later, Cordelia, the phone will go dead, and it kind of is apropos inside. Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
All right. You have a great day and enjoy the warmer weather.
Yes, I am.
All
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rich Masucci and Pete. How do I say, Pete, your last name? Right up on the microphone there.
Potasowitz.
Potasowitz. It's just not spelled that way, but I get it. Gentlemen, you have an event coming up that, by the way, just so happens to be benefiting the Humane Society in Rome, which is currently in the news. So tell us about what's happening. It's the 16th annual, by the way.
Yeah, it's 16th annual. It's a 3-day event that's going on up at 12 North Sports Bar in Marcy.
28th, 29th, and 30th.
And 30th, yeah.
Okay.
And 21 bands we have up there this time. So it's chock full of music. And, should be quite the thing. $15 gets you in the door. And if you want $5 off that, there's an incentive you can do when you walk through. We'll walk you through it. And, it should be a great time.
You want to name some of the bands that will be performing?
In fact, I can name all the bands. Let me get my handy-dandy list here.
I got a sheet here, too. So, you got some great acts.
So Friday, we have Ashley Dakar and Bob Moore. Mason's Revolt, Riptide, which is Max Sheldon's new band.
Yeah.
Slug, which we're very excited about. Pepper on the Salad, and Simp Biscuit. On Saturday, we have the Midnight Shadows, the Jake Lozo Band, Uncle Charlie and the Meatballs, Square Pegs, which is a great one on that.
Yep.
Screaming Nurse, Motorlord, Hammered, which is the, second incarnation of The Bomb.
Okay.
The Ward, they'll be doing like a reunion type show.
The Bomb is calling themselves now Hammered. I love it.
I know.
Because whenever you go to I love when the Bomb would play.
Yeah.
And you look under the stage, that's where all the beer cans went, the empties. So
You're not wrong.
I love it.
The Ward, A Dying Breed, My Darling Dreadful, and then on Sunday, Send Flowers, As If, the Brothers Grimm Band, the Stan Primo Project. There's Max Sheldon playing. The Max Sheldon Band is playing a different version of it, and actually nobody even knows this. I haven't even added this to the list last night. We're just doing it now. Is Tony Michitelli is going to be doing Acoustamous down there? So
okay, cool.
Yeah. So did I just go through all the time on the show? We got to go now.
No. You did well. So you have a $5 off promotion that'll be available at the door each night. Get tickets at the door is the best place to get them.
Yeah. They're available right there.
Okay, Pete, you want to add anything?
It's just that this is just a great benefit. And like you said, Rome Humane Society was just
in the news
again.
Yeah.
So this benefit is going to greatly help them just take care of the animals and everything that's up there.
All right. It seems like in that case, somebody just put the puppy over the fence and just dropped the puppy in there.
Yeah.
And the dog died. So it really is. Okay, great stuff. It's at 12 North. Great venue for this.
It's a perfect venue. It gives us a lot of size to get the crowds in, so we're not limited on that. And the owners up there are fantastic
They
to
are.
work with.
Yeah. Great old fat, the way it used to be. These are the events, what they used to be like. With
Absolutely.
a ton of bands, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, sure. Can I plug the pub crawl that's coming
Yep.
with it too?
Yeah.
So yeah, people don't even know about this. There's a pub crawl that kind of like precedes that. That's not this weekend, but the weekend of the 22nd. I'm just going to tell you the places on that we're going. Packy's Pub, Piggy Pat's, the Beer Hub, One Jenny, Props Inn, Killebrew, Beer Garden, Dingy Bar, Dick Smith's, Kozar's, Stanley, the Stanley Restaurant, Celtic Harp, Nail Creek, O'Donnell's, Lucan's, Varick, Mama Lucy's. God, I'm losing my place here. The Sanctuary Bar, Griffin's Pub, and the Utica Lounge. What we do is we go to each of those bars for a half hour. Everybody that comes on the crawl with us usually will have one drink until they say no mas.
It's called a crawl. People think the
Until
crawl
the Oneida
is...
County Sheriff's Office is trailing behind you going, okay,
Yeah.
guys.
Well, it's great, too. We have a shuttle, so nobody is drinking and driving.
Got you.
Absolutely. If there was somebody that wanted to come on this crawl and they wanted to drink and drive, we would tell them to
So it's
right
a party
off.
bus.
It is a party bus, yes.
Ah.
And at each stop we go to, we also pass a bucket around and ask for donations. And usually people will throw tips
After
and
like
whatever
3 to
else.
4 drinks, they go, hey, have a little bit more. Have a little
That's
bit more.
the idea. You know, some of these people, I got to be honest, we used to do this the same week. And by the end of it, people didn't know if they were on
right,
like...
you do it the same week as the music wouldn't be good.
Yeah, they were so
Yeah.
tuned up, they didn't know if they were
Yeah.
on like a benefit or a bat mitzvah. They had no idea.
Yep.
So it's like, so now we separate it out and it goes
All
much,
right.
much smoother.
All right, the event, so the pub crawl is next weekend.
Correct.
And then the following weekend, last weekend of the month, is Friday, Saturday, Sunday at 12 North.
That's right. You'll find flyers of that all over the city.
Okay,
so.
website anywhere?
Just on Facebook, if
Okay.
you look up
All right.
either one of those, you'll find it.
All right, guys, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
And good luck with the crawl. There are a lot of bars there.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long day.
Oh, yeah.
Long day.
But it'll be a good day.
It'll be a very fun day.
I'm going to watch
Keep
updates.
hydrated.
Watch the updates. 8:27, Megan has news coming up.
If you have a problem with your hot water tank or furnace, we can come out and check it out at no charge.
If we can fix the problem in less than an hour with no parts, then there's no charge.
We don't charge to walk in the door, which is a huge, huge thing, which has upset a lot of our competitors.
I think the free service defines who Standard is. It's the right thing to do. And when you do the right thing as a business, good things come to you. People still are astonished that it's actually free.
Schedule your free service today at standardco.com.
Are you a CDPAP home care user or caregiver? Switch to PPL before April 1st to ensure a smooth transition. It's fast and easy, over the phone, online, at an in-person or virtual session, or with a CDPAP facilitator. Call PPL at 833-247-5346. That's 833-247-5346. Visit pplfirst.com/CDPAP. Register today. A message from the New York State Health Department.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:28. I'm Megan Stone. It's 31 degrees outside and partly cloudy. Your full weather forecast is coming up next. Wildfires and other weather extremes are making cancer care more complicated. A new study published in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute showed that patients recovering from lung cancer surgeries within an active wildfire zone needed longer hospital stays than those in areas with no fires. The longer stays could be attributed to the reluctance of healthcare providers to discharge patients because of the environment, including housing or safety issues. The study's authors emphasize that the results show that wildfires pose broad threats to health beyond smoke exposure. A new report shows inflation is cooling. The Consumer Price Index rose by 0.2% last month against expectations of 0.3%. The CPI is a broad measure of costs across the economy. It also showed the yearly inflation rate is at 2.8% against projections of 2.9%. It comes after a major sell-off on Wall Street this week due to uncertainty around tariffs implemented by the Trump administration. A New York woman is suing the Girl Scouts after claiming their cookies contain heavy metals. The class action suit filed this week is asking for $5 million from the organization after a study showed that Girl Scout cookies contained lead, arsenic, mercury, and aluminum. The Girl Scouts released a statement last month saying heavy metals can occur naturally in soil and they are not added to the cookies. An article in Forbes later confirmed that metals can occur naturally in soil, and the FDA and USDA both allow residues of metals in foods at levels deemed non-harmful and said there is no evidence that the cookies pose a health risk, but they are addicting. Amtrak is taking a poke at Southwest Airlines. The passenger railroad company posted on X on Tuesday, quote, "Guess we're the only ones doing free baggage now." It then reminded passengers that they can bring one personal item up to 25 pounds plus 2 carry-on items up to 50 pounds each. Southwest Airlines announced Tuesday it would begin charging most customers for checked bags. Starting May 28th, passengers that have high loyalty status, though, they'll still be allowed to check 2 bags for free. Your WIBX news time is 8:31. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
More dry weather expected, and once again, temperatures are going to rebound after a day today with a cloudy sky and mid-40-degree temperatures to a day tomorrow with some sunshine. We start to get back to the mid-upper 50s, about 57, 58 degrees. Overnight lows will be in the 30s. Saturday, a chance of afternoon rain showers all the way to the low 60s, maybe well into the 60s on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
It's 31 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Your WIBX news time is 8:31. I'm Megan Stone.
All right, coming up, we'll speak with Rome Mayor Jeff Flanagan, and there is a book written by a former Roman. Jeff does the foreword in the book, and it's called Twister in a Tiny Town. I wonder what that's about. We'll speak with the mayor coming right up at WIBX.
Are you looking for an easy way to get a daily detox? Pharmacist, best-selling author, and nutrition expert Sherry Torkos explains why Active Liver is the perfect solution.
As a health expert, I'm often asked how to support the liver's natural detoxification process and offset the effects of fatty foods, sugar, and alcohol. I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic.
Active Liver is the perfect way to get an easy daily detox to keep you healthy and feeling your best. You can find Active Liver in the vitamin aisle at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Hey guys, it's Lisa here from Fit Body Bootcamp. It's March Meltdown. What does that mean? We want to help you melt that stubborn body fat. Join us today for only $57. But hurry, that won't last long. Stop the madness and start your meltdown today with 2 convenient locations in Whitesboro and Clinton. What are you waiting for? The time is now to start living your best life. If you call us today or find us on Facebook, your first 3 sessions are free on me.
Stop by White's Farm Supply today to see how Cub Cadet commercial equipment is built for business. Now through March 31st, take 20% off all Cub Cadet commercial lawnmowers built to endure the demands of serious landscapers with powerful engines, wide cutting decks, and premium comfort. Don't delay. Head to White's Farm Supply today. Inventory may vary by dealer. Cannot be applied with any other discount. No cash value except where prohibited. Promotion is subject to change. Other restrictions may apply. Call your dealer or visit cubcadet.com for details.
We're the power in power equipment. White's Farm Supply.
Dear me, I'm you writing from your future. I know that you're hesitant to get care for your heart. But when you visit the St. Joseph's Health Cardiovascular Institute, you'll receive a higher level of care. Their team of highly skilled doctors, nurses, and specialists provides comprehensive heart care and quicker recovery times, giving you the best possible outcomes. Go to sjhsyr.org/CVI to get started. Don't wait. Get back to the life you love.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Hey, I do have to tell you, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills, if you're looking for a new doctor, and maybe your doctor is retired, contact the Falcon Clinic. All under one roof. Several doctors, counseling, acupuncture, and family doctors. Dr. Shemileski, Dr. Zielinski, all there at the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. Call them today and schedule an appointment. 315-507-4751. Or visit them online, their website. Of course, the Falcon Clinic is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, accepting new patients right now. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. All right, in studio right now, before I go to the mayor, I did see a comment on the phones being eliminated. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, how are you?
On the phones being eliminated from restaurants. And that was Cordelia, right in your backyard. Yeah. We should eliminate phones, she says, from restaurants. And Mike brings up an amazing point. If you take away my phone, I'll never be able to read the menu. Because I don't know about anybody else, but I've gotten to that point where if it's dark enough in there, I got to use a little flashlight.
And I'm not there yet, but I've seen several people that have.
Oh yeah, and the best way to do it is if you have the it's dimmed enough. But there are those that it's on full brightness and light up the whole corner of the
Gentlemen,
restaurant.
all that I can say is don't use a candle to see your menu like my dad did at Tavern on the Green in New York. He lit the menu on fire, and in a panic, he stuffed it into the butter to put out the fire on the menu.
That's good.
Well, dinner and a show, right?
It was definitely dinner and a show.
That must have been quite a show. Mayor Lanigan, good morning. Thanks so much for coming in. I'll hit you on a couple of Rome issues in a second, but first, this book is really a cool idea. It's called Twister in a Tiny Town. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely. Yes, this was a great idea that was presented to my office several months after the tornado, and they had reached out to me and sent kind of a draft over and said, hey, we would love to have an introduction from you written in the book, and I read it, and they really were spot on.
Yeah,
they did a great job with this.
And it's a kid's book.
Yes,
it's for kids. Who is the author, by the way? And I believe they're not living in Rome currently.
No, I think they're in North Carolina now. But
okay,
they were former Romans, lived there in the past. J.D. Wise is the author, and I believe he lives down there with his family, and he's got 3 or 4 kids, and he's an author that does children's books, and this just kind of touched on him that he wanted to do something for this community, and part of the proceeds from the sales go to our relief fund, and so it was a great thing for us to.
And is the book basically allowing kids to understand, young kids to understand what happened?
Yes, absolutely, and it kind of shows a little bit of the turmoil that we went through and kind of all the damage to the city, but then talks about how the community came together and how that made it possible for us to recover as quickly as we did.
Yeah.
And it was truly a touching story. So he did a great job.
It's available on Amazon, I'm assuming. Twister in a Tiny Town, and you write the foreword in the book. So.
Yes, it's on Amazon. I believe Barnes & Noble. Also.
Okay, as well. So very cool. Because a tornado touching down, as strong as that tornado was, touching down in a city like Rome is really unheard of.
Absolutely.
Never certainly expected it.
No, definitely wasn't expected. But to really come through, honestly, our most congested area of the city. Before we'd had one that went up in the town of Western, which isn't as congested as the city.
Right.
Really come right through our downtown.
Yeah.
And 2 of our most occupied neighborhoods was devastating.
Yeah. Can you talk about where you are on recovery? What does this spring look like? Because there are still places that are in need of help.
Absolutely. So we're kind of at right now is we have some demolition that needs to be completed. We were hoping to get all that done before the snowfall, but as you guys are aware, we got hit with
snow fell.
Yeah. Once January 1st hit, everything came to a standstill.
It never went away. And
how much do you think you guys got in total in Rome?
We've got to be close in total to probably 80 inches of snow total throughout the winter, I got to say.
Yeah, and then you just go a little bit north, and you're talking
300, 400
they're
inches.
well over.
It's incredible. In fact, there's just a story where they've rallied a whole bunch of volunteers to go to Oswego to dig them, to continue to dig them out. They're still
buried.
Yeah, and some of those snow banks as you go to the north are just surreal. Stuff we haven't seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, it's been
some people have never seen.
Yeah, it's been quite a few years.
Yeah.
I've kind of dubbed myself the natural disaster mayor.
Yeah, you're there.
I know you got elected, and next thing you know, Mother Nature said, "Okay, Jeff, let's put you to work."
Yeah, exactly.
What a 1-year period. So. Yeah.
But we're kind of right now, we're getting back into the demolition side. We have a couple of big buildings that are coming down within the city over the next few months. And then once we get to that point, we've been continuously working on a plan for rebuilding. And, hopefully that's going to start coming out within the next month or two and kind of show what the next steps for Rome are.
Yeah.
We're using this, as devastating as it was, we're kind of using it as a kickoff to really start to do some great things in Rome and rehab some of the areas of Rome that needed it prior to the tornado. So,
and then you obviously it's that time of year. You have a budget coming up.
Well, my budget mine's not due till October.
It is October. Yeah, okay, that's right.
Yeah, that's
Gives
right.
you some
I
grace
go off
periods.
the calendar year, and so I obviously Mayor Galimi's going through quite a bit right now with his.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's crazy.
It's insane.
It is. Yeah.
I've been tuning into it every day, and I feel bad for him.
Yeah, he's certainly going. Last night it was heated there last night as well.
Oh, I'm sure. I haven't got the updates from last night, so I got.
So you don't anticipate going through. I feel like Romans have really come together, and you got a lot. I'm assuming this budget may include some of the things that you're going to be doing to really take that next step after the disaster.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough budget. I mean, we're at right now. We're roughly around 40 properties that have been demoed, both private and public buildings that are going to be coming off of the tax rolls. So obviously that's difficult for us and something that we have to look forward to for what we're going to do over the next couple of years. We did plan a little bit for that during last year's budget with anticipation that those numbers were going to actually be even a little bit higher. So we did do some forward planning, and it will be a little difficult, but we do a great job there. A lot of the city employees do an incredible.
And I'm assuming you're banking on the fact that this crazy weather that we've had in the last 12 months is not becoming the new norm.
I am truly banking on that. I really hope it's not. But we got through it and we prevailed. So.
All right, now you have a book written about Rome and the tornado. Twister in a Tiny Town.
Is that it? Right there with
this
you?
is it right here. I brought the draft.
Oh, it's a printout.
Yeah, this was what they had sent me originally, and that's the introduction that I sent.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
But yeah, they did a great job. They got the B-52 in here. They've got the St. Mary's Church.
And that was a tough loss.
Yes, it was. It
definitely was.
So that's kind of, they live on in the pages of a book.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, very cool. Mayor, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And I would just say congratulations on having the extra time in Rome to be able to put that budget in October.
Absolutely.
So, although it didn't feel that way last September, I'm assuming.
No, we get to that crunch time in August.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Absolutely. Quick break, and we'll come right back at WIBX.
This is Anthony Constantino, CEO of Sticker Mule. I'm a proud Trump supporter, running for Congress for the seat being vacated by Elise Stefanik. I built a successful internet company with nearly 1,000 people in upstate New York. However, much of upstate New York suffers from lack of access to high-speed internet that's necessary to build great companies and enable high-paying remote jobs. In fact, much of our district lacks access to strong, dependable cell phone service too. Of course, we must have both for public safety and to grow the economy. When elected to Congress, I will work quickly with President Trump to fix this problem. With high-speed internet, dependable cell service, and by renewing President Trump's tax cuts, both for businesses and individuals, we will create jobs and return economic prosperity to upstate New York. Follow me, Anthony Constantino, on Facebook today to learn more about my plans to make New York great again. I'm Anthony Constantino, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Constantino for Congress.
Fix all your fender benders, small or big. Call Malgeri's Auto Body before you call your insurance company. Let Malgeri's take care of everything from start to finish. They work with all major providers and use factory paint and parts, plus laser measuring to make your vehicle new again. It's 100% guaranteed, and Malgeri's always details your car before they return it. Malgeri's Auto Body, now located at 1216 Bleecker Street, Utica. Call 315-735-4488, keeping you on the road since 1928.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Okay, Davey, I got a bunch here. I did not know. Well, let's start with, do you remember En Vogue? This will be the group En Vogue from the 90s, I guess.
Yes.
Right?
What a Man and all that stuff.
So, yes. I might even have some audio. Yeah. Is this it? Yep.
Yep. Davey's dancing.
This is the music Davey plays at any of the gentlemen's clubs that he's... No.
If you played this music, they would laugh at you and say, "What the heck is this?"
Yeah, what is
they
this
don't
garbage?
Know this music. I played this music when I was working CHR.
Oh, back in your days on hit radio.
And on KISS.
KISS, yeah. You know who Dawn Roberts is? She's in En Vogue.
Mm-hmm.
And that group was huge in the 90s.
I think she was like the lead vocalist.
Well,
you were probably playing En Vogue when you were working on 107.
On 107, the original 107. Yep. Anyway, they were big. Hits like My Lovin', You're Never Gonna Get It, all that. But now one of the members, singer Dawn Robinson, is living in her car.
Oh.
You know this story.
No, from just what I heard from Megan, that she's homeless and living in her car.
She is homeless and living in her car. And she feels, first of all, there are so many services available today.
Mm-hmm.
If you're choosing to be homeless, there are shelters, or you don't want to be in a shelter, whatever the story is. But there's help for even her. And she chooses not to do it. In fact, she likes living in her car, she says. She actually loves it. Here she is, Dawn Roberts of En Vogue fame. My guess is she doesn't have any of her money left. Here we go.
You guys, for the past almost 3 years, I have been living in my car. I said it. Oh my God, it's out. I've been living in my car. Would I have an apartment right now if I had a choice? I would. Just so you guys know, I have a gym membership and I shower there. This is not like, oh my God, poor Dawn. She's living in her car and it's terrible. Oh, what was me? It's not that. I'm learning about who I am. I'm learning myself as a person, as a woman. If you would have said to me while I was in En Vogue, you're going to be living in your car one day, I'd be like, huh? No, I'm always going to have an apartment. I can't live in my car. We say that we can't do certain things before you even know we're capable.
Okay. Well, she's learning about herself while living in a car.
You would think that with residuals and there's 90s
funny.
con now.
She says she has a gym membership, so she's got to have gas for the car, got to be able to register the car. So maybe it's not money. She just wants to find herself in the car. Lucia who does not live in a car, lives in a very nice home. Lucy, good morning.
Oh, hi, good morning. I think it's the woman is strong, very nice. It's what she wants to do.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
She's testing herself, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
So when they say, yeah.
A little weird for me, but
everybody's got to do what they got to do.
Got to
right?
do what you got to do. Got to do what you got to do,
right.
Lucia.
Right. Now, the gas prices are down, Bill. Are you going to tour more?
The gas prices are down. Are they down? I don't know that they're down yet.
They're kind of holding steady.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to start putting eggs in my gas tank.
Yes.
Eggs are up.
I'm going to buy a lot of eggs, 5 boxes.
Okay.
And I'm going to freeze them. If the price goes up, then I'll have the eggs.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, no.
Can you freeze eggs, Bill?
Can you freeze eggs?
I don't believe you can.
I believe they do, and it's kind of a way to, you could then procreate maybe a couple years later because you froze your eggs.
Oh, they say you can. You should never
you're
freeze
not talking
eggs
about that.
in their shells. But you can freeze eggs up to 1 year. I guess you have to crack them into
remember, you're
muffin mold.
You can buy an Egg McMuffin type sandwich that's
100% fake.
All in the frozen section.
I bought them. Them already.
You did.
So you think I go sell some to you guys? Maybe you want to buy some?
You probably, as long as you're selling them cheaply, you could probably sell them from the parking lot of the grocery store. I bet you could.
$2. $2 a dozen.
All right, that's pretty cheap. That's pretty
good,
cheap.
Right?
Yeah, it would be very good. All right, Lucia.
Thank you. Good show, Bill.
You have a wonderful day. Best part of the show, Lucy, is you.
Ciao.
Goodbye. All
now
right.
it's you.
Okay.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
We talked about this earlier. A woman claiming the best thing to do in her world, in her marriage, best thing you can do is have a bathroom divorce. She has a bathroom for her and a bathroom for her husband, claims it has completely solved the problem. She no longer will have to live in her car.
I could tell you when you have somebody who's hogging the bathroom, you're like, FBI, open up, I need to go. Because you have sometimes people who have a habit of they go into the bathroom, they bring their laptop, they bring their cup of coffee, and they just plan to sit there for a while.
So having more than one is helpful. New survey shows the best cities for St. Patrick's Day celebrations. Now, these are going to be major cities, and I can tell you we're not going to be on it, but I don't know how. There was a survey, or a list. I don't even think they survey people, to be honest. A list that was done of the best places in New York State, and Utica was not on that list, if you remember that from last year.
Huh.
That is ridiculous. These people, even Dolly Parton said, I've never seen anyone party on St. Patrick's Day like these people in Utica as we marched down Genesee Street in the middle of a blizzard. It was a blizzard. And
the Irish are hardy.
She was in the hotel and watched the parade from the hotel room because she couldn't get out of town because of the weather. Anyway, the survey says, no surprise, Boston takes the top spot. Coming in second place, Reno, of all places.
Really?
And Savannah, Georgia, not New York City.
Or Chicago?
Or Chicago. A lot of Irish there. But to me, nobody parties like we do for our St. Patrick's Day weekend, which is coming up this weekend. Quick break. John Decker is coming up. And Joe, I'll get to you before that. John Decker from Gray TV. We'll squeeze Joe in next to WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Okay, so there's no stops out there. Let me go to Joe now. It actually works out. Hello, Joe. Good morning.
Hey, Bill. Good morning. I just wanted to send out a get well soon wish to my buddy Larry. He just had some problems. He broke a couple of ribs, and now he's got a hernia. And I just wanted to say, get well, Larry. He listens every day. He's a loyal listener.
All right. So he had an accident, or?
Yeah, well, he fell. He was snowblowing, and he fell and broke a couple of ribs.
Yep.
And now he's got a hernia because of it. Because when you break ribs, you tend to favor it. And then now I think he popped it, and he's got a hernia.
All right.
Ouch.
All right. Well, that's a good deal.
So quit smoking.
All right. That's a good thing, right? So, all right, Joe, big weekend coming up here. And tomorrow we'll be over at Tony's in Washington Mills for Andrew's free breakfast send-off if you want to stop by tomorrow.
Oh, man, I might just do that.
All right.
And if you do, bring a plate to Davey back at the studio.
Are
He
you
would love you forever.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to be out anywhere this weekend?
Yes. I'll be at 12 North Sports Bar like I am every Saturday for St. Patrick's Day from 4 to 8.
Are you actually asking him to plug? You are. Yeah. All right, Joe. Thank you. 12 North. Joe Lode. Okay, thank you. Let me go to John Decker. He is the chief White House correspondent with Gray TV. Lots to get into. More. I'm telling you, John, the news cycle is no longer a cycle. It really is 24/7. You never know when the president's going to tweet news.
Yeah. No, it's been like that. It was like that in the first term. It's like that in the second term.
Yeah.
It is nonstop. The pace is dizzying, I have to tell you, covering this White House. But I'm used to the pace. It's pretty much normal for me. I sometimes get up in the middle of the night and I check what the schedule is for the next day because they don't post it until sometimes, after I go to bed. So that's really what I have to deal with every day.
The tariffs, that's obviously it's a huge story, and the battle, it seems like the trade war. If you were to tell me we would be getting into a tariff war with Canada, I never would have believed it, but here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, that's because of the president imposing tariffs, 25% tariffs on imported steel and aluminum. That's worldwide, and there's now retaliatory tariffs that have been placed upon American goods by both Canada and the European Union. It really affects so many American products, and the impact of this will be almost immediate because there's no company that is hit with these tariffs that won't pass those costs immediately on to consumers. They're not going to eat those costs.
Right. It's we're going to pay for it. There's just no doubt.
We are.
Now, a lot of people believe, though, that the president has a master plan and that this will all end up being resolved.
Well, the master plan is to move a significant amount of manufacturing that's out of the country into this country. And in fact, there have been some really impressive announcements. The White House has $2 trillion worth of announcements as it relates to manufacturing moving to America. The problem is, what's the patience level of Americans? Because that takes time. The impact of tariffs is immediate. Those announcements related to manufacturing, that's sometimes years away. And also in terms of years away related to how many jobs are created because of that. So that's the master plan, and we'll see, if the president, has the patience of the American people in terms of that master plan.
My guess is he'll have half, but that can wither away when people lose their jobs. We'll see what happens.
I think you're right. It's like up to independent voters, typically, how they feel about it.
Yeah, it really is.
And we'll have a better feel of it this time next year as we get ready for the midterm elections. Think about that. And the midterm elections will determine who controls the Congress for the final 2 years of the president's second term in the White House.
I want to ask you quickly on the chess match that's going on in the Senate right now and the House. And the government shutdown. What do you think?
Well, I like how you call it a chess match. I think it's just a game of chicken, really. But in either way that you describe it, that's what's going on. The continuing resolution's already passed the House. One Republican voted against it. One Democrat voted for it. So essentially along party lines. And then you move over to the Senate, and Chuck Schumer has indicated that every Democrat's going to vote against it. So if you have that, then there's no deal. And if there's no deal, then come tomorrow night at midnight, you would have a government shutdown. So we'll see what happens if there's any movement in terms of compromise between now and tomorrow night at midnight.
All right, great stuff. As always, John, we appreciate it. Thanks for your insight, and we'll do it again next week.
Thanks, Phil.
All right.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Have a great day. John Decker, Chief White House Correspondent with Gray TV. Wayne has now sent me a picture here this morning as we're talking about the picture of a toilet saying, "This is what causes a bathroom divorce." The idea is to have
very nice
more than one bathroom in the house. Mama uses one, Papa uses another.
And the kids fend for themselves.
And everybody else will be happy, except for the kids. Listen, we have tomorrow morning, 6 till 9, we'll be at Tony's in Washington Mills for the Free Breakfast Friday. Come on out in Washington Mills. Coming up next, Brian Kilmeade after news, which is top of the hour, 9 o'clock at WIBX Utica, Rome.
Things could get tense north of the border. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, where Secretary of State Marco Rubio is about to sit down with his Canadian counterpart as the U.S. and 6 key allies gather after President Trump imposed tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports.
Secretary Rubio has crossed the front lines in the trade war. He is in Canada, and if the Canadians want to complain to somebody in person about the tariffs, it's going to have to be him. He is there for this meeting of the G7 foreign secretaries in Quebec. Those meetings of foreign secretaries can be so boring, but not today.
Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House, where the president escalated things in a Truth Social post this morning, reacting to Canada and the European Union's retaliatory tariffs. He wrote, if Europe's nasty 50% tariff on American whiskey is not canceled immediately, he'll put a 200% tariff on all wine, champagne, and other alcohol coming here from France or any other EU country. Today, NATO's leader goes to the White House. As President Trump keeps pushing for an end to the war in Ukraine, that country's agreed to a U.S. ceasefire plan.
President Donald Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff has landed in Moscow to bring details of the proposal to the Kremlin. President Vladimir Putin's spokesman hinting at direct talks with President Trump, saying there could be an international phone call later today.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. A Russian official said today that ceasefire plan would benefit Ukraine.